Welcome back to day 2 of the 2026 MLB Draft live stream. We got a few people, or a couple people that are going to be coming here today that were at the draft yesterday. Same four of us besides that. Big day yesterday. Long day, 7 hours on stream. I was exhausted afterwards. I know Dodge was. I know JB was. I know Trevor was. We all talked about it. Fun day, long day. Today's going to be just as long, probably not on camera for as long. And the picks to most people not as meaningful, but to us, it's all the same, I promise. Introducing our crew, starting to my left, I got JB Sebastiano. JB, how we doing?
We're doing great, Josh. I know most of us are ready to rock and roll for another day of this stream, and then we're happy to add on Coach Jake. So, we always need some Coach Jake in our life.
Facts. We got some more people, some more new people rolling in today too. We got Quinn will be coming later from Philly. We got some people from other parts of the site, from the Prospects Live site, joining throughout the day. The Dynasty side of things, card side, whatever it may be. Lots of good insight from all different angles. To my right, we got Will Dodge coming back. Will Dodge, the wizard, knows everything about everyone who's being drafted on both days. Got to have some of that in your life. Dodge, how we doing?
Doing great. It's a good morning for me. 8:17 right now, but we're holding in. Excited for today. Looking at my board, the best available is all prep guys. Usually, a handful of these guys do get selected and signed, so I'm curious who that will be.
Yeah, that's usually like round 5 or like early into the stream is probably when a lot of those guys will be taken because they had all night with their agents to discuss with these teams some overslot deals in round 5. Part of why we saw round 4 end the way it did yesterday. So some of those guys will probably be taken off the board early. Guys like Archer Horn, Blake Bowen, they might just be going to campus. But beyond that, we'll talk about that in a minute here. But guys like the Joseph Contreras, Will Adams of the world, you'll probably see them go pretty early on. So that'll be interesting to see. Next in the bottom left, we have our director of pro scouting here at Prospects Live. We're looking to see how all these guys are going to fit into the farm systems. That'll be his control in the near future. Trevor, how we doing?
Good. After we got off stream, I was working well into the night, so I was exhausted because we're trying to figure out how these guys fit in so we can get these posted, assuming that all these guys sign, which some might not, but to see how they fit into their new organizations, our lists are looking pretty good. Hopefully we can get those updated and sent out soon.
Sweet. Yeah, I know. I got off the stream yesterday and I was so tired. I got off the stream and took 4 Advil immediately and just laid down for like 3 hours. I underestimated the toll it takes on a person to be on camera for like 7 hours straight. But after 3 hours, I was like, I had energy back. I was ready to go again. I'm like, we don't need to wait, 16 more hours, 14 more hours, whatever it was for these picks to come back. Like, I'm ready to keep going. Let's do this thing again.
Yeah, I'm good. Start the draft. Yeah. Hey, overnight.
Exactly.
My draft.
Who needs sleep? Another guy that I know felt similarly because he seemed to agree with me. Jake Barger, got him back from Philly. Jake Barge rocking the Vols baseball jersey. Be ready to push some Henry Ford, Bo Rudy propaganda here pretty soon. You're muted, Jake, by the way.
That's on me. But yeah, Ford, Rudy, Garrett Wright didn't go yesterday either. He was a name that had a chance to go at some point. I'll be obviously selfishly kind of hoping that they don't go and make it back to Tennessee. But at the same time, it'd be nice to see them go at some point. But yeah, I was in Philly yesterday. It was kind of loud in there. My voice is kind of coming and going a little bit, so I probably don't sound the very best. But no, it was a blast yesterday. I know everybody else that was there with me feels the same way too.
Yeah, but it seemed like it was a better setup than usual based on the people who have been to years past and yesterday said it seemed to be a little bit of a better setup. The MLB kind of outdid themselves a little bit.
It was.
This is your first time going, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. This was my first time, so I don't have anything to go off of from previous years. But I mean, I was happy about the setup that they had. I mean, I thought it was really sweet in there. The stage was humongous. I talked about it yesterday. I know, but all the lights in there were going crazy. They had music and entertainment between picks, and like the crowd was getting into it. The teams that showed up there, the crowd was getting into it. Like after the Phillies pick, the place kind of thinned out quite a bit. But at the same time, I mean, every time like the Braves pick would come on, there was a big boo coming on. Every time Manfred would come on the stage, they were booing. Like it was everything that you would kind of expect to see.
Were there really construction noises, like audible construction noises? I saw that this morning. I didn't watch it yesterday.
It was after they closed it down in the third round, I
Okay.
think.
Oh,
Got
okay.
it.
I was going to say because they kicked us out after pick 40.
Got
So
it.
I didn't.
Okay.
I guess if it was after that, I wouldn't have heard any of it.
Yeah, it was the stream with like Callis and Zabrowski on MLB Network after I think round 3 might have been when it started, and it was like you could see behind them the lights were off and there were construction, like they were taking down the stage like as the stream was still going on. We're like, we couldn't have waited 2 more hours to do this. Like
Yeah.
there were so many things yesterday where it's like if the MLB is trying to expand the draft in any way and get some eyes on it, they did just the world's worst job with it yesterday, from the commissioner pronouncing the undisputed top prospect's name wrong with the number 1 pick all the way to, like 3 different channels you have to watch the coverage on, and ending on MLB.com at the end with construction noises in the background. Like it was poor all the way around. But I mean, for us draft junkies, all the content was still the same and still just as entertaining as usual. I guess before these picks start rolling in about 7-8 minutes here, we can go through. We'll go through again. We'll take it from the top and go favorite draft hauls yesterday, team by team. I'll kick it off with the team that seems to be the undisputed, or according to most people, undisputed best draft haul yesterday. Jake Bardry happens to have a pennant looking right behind him over his right shoulder with that same team on, if he wants to hit on that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Cardinals. I think, in my opinion, I think in most opinions, it was that the Cardinals had they had the biggest haul, but I think they made the most out of all their picks as well. I like Trevor Condon. I'm a big fan of his. After I started diving more into it, I became even more of a fan of his. And then obviously I have the Vol jersey on from PA, Cardinals fan. I love the Tegan Kuntz pick, not just because I'm a fan of his and have been following him for a long time, but I also think it was a good pick as well at the point that they got him in. And then, JB and Dodge, your guys' coverage on Maniscalco from the combine and all the other videos I was seeing kind of had me sold on him quite a bit. Williamson, good value, I think, when they got him. And then obviously Monteza was the kind of the money saver after they're probably going to spend pretty big with those first few picks, which for what it's worth, he's going to do the job of what they picked him for. And I think it's fine. Obviously it was like a reach when you look at certain arms that were on the board at the time, but I don't hate the pick for what it's worth. And then Ferraro D. Kennedy, I love the bat for Ferraro. I've talked about him in our last podcast. He was on like my list of guys that I like. And I love the bat and see where he plays defensively. Obviously, D. Kennedy, one of Drew's guys, he's been high on him all year, and I trust Drew's opinion of a player. If he's really high on him, I think he's got to be pretty good. So I love what the Cardinals did with all their picks. I expected them. Obviously, we knew they were going to have the most picks coming into it, but I'm thrilled with what they got out of it too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's pretty easy to say the team that had the most picks was the biggest winner yesterday, but all the picks that were taken, or all the guys that were taken in the 3rd or 4th round, weren't all winners across the board for every team, but the Cardinals seemed to land on those picks according to our judgment. 3rd round, 4th round, like you mentioned, Caden Ferraro, D. Kennedy. A lot of people thought they might go a little bit higher than that, and they were still snagging them late. Good value in the 1st round too. It was a phenomenal draft haul as a whole, I would say. I know, Dodge, you have your valuation board, just taking like from a model standpoint how teams did yesterday, and the Cardinals came out on top for you too there. So I don't know if you want to dive in a little bit to what that all means from your perspective.
Yeah, and they kind of came to the top in a different direction than most do. I've been running that board for the last 5 years, and normally the team that's on the top just takes the number 1 player, and they just have the most valuable player, and that value just kind of tied them to the top. The Cardinals don't have a top 12 player selected on that. Yeah, they have. I'd have to go through, but they probably have like 6 of the top 75. So to be able to kind of swing above average on every single pick for me is something that I thought was really special out of them, and that's kind of a sound draft strategy for most organizations. You talk about like the idea of going under slot. Not to say that the Cardinals even did, but it's because you spread out your value because you don't know. If you want to spend it all on the top guy, if that guy busts, then you're kind of SOL for that draft. I think that the Cardinals are going to do a really good job creating at least a couple major leaguers from that crop.
Yeah, funny enough, looking at that board that you were just talking about, another strange thing from it is you mentioned that typically it's the teams that have the top players at the very top of the draft that rise to the cream of the crop. and the White Sox come in at 2, Twins at 4, Rays at 5. But the Nationals didn't have a top 10 pick yesterday at all, and they come in at number 3 overall on your board. You want to talk a little bit about how that could have possibly happened? Because I was big on their draft too.
Yeah, and that's when we were going to pass it around, that was definitely the team I was going to take. So as a little explainer, that board is fed off my tools grades. So it is pretty backwards engineered to the guys that I like are going to be the guys that are good on the model. And it basically it takes those grades and it says in the past these players have gotten this bonus, and it's what's the term inflation adjusted to this year's rate. So I knew that the Nationals would be pretty high for Chris Hakopian. I knew they're going to be pretty high for taking Luke Williams also. But I was looking at the board and I'm like, well, why are they so high still? And I totally forgot they also have Chase Brunson. And Chase Brunson is a top 10 player in that system. So I think that makes 3 top 25 players for them. And that's a pretty good draft.
Yeah, I think that I've been high on Brunson and Hakopian for a while, so that's part of why I gravitated towards that opinion. Luke Williams, a lot of people thought could go in the first couple rounds. I tend to agree. I think that's one of the – I forget where I put them in my rankings. I want to say they were a top 5, 6-ish draft for me. So I tend to agree. JB, Trevor, I don't know if you have any other opinions of who could have had one of the top drafts in your opinion. I was big – I know, JB, you were big on the Giants with me, right?
Yeah, I would say the Giants and the Tigers for me were 2 other ones that I really liked, but I'll let Trevor go first if he wants to take whoever he wants.
I agree on the Giants. I mentioned them yesterday, and I think I'm on an island here, but I really like the Brewers draft. Getting Ebel, I know they reached in the first round, but you're getting a guy who just went through that growth spurt, still growing. You know, he's young on draft day, and the Brewers are excellent at development, which gives me confidence in that pick. And then you can turn around and get Sawyer Strasnyder on top of Julian Garcia, and with your last pick of the day. I don't know. I think they put together a good class. Maybe I'm just giving them too much credit because they're so good at development. So I'm like, anyone they take is going to be fantastic. But I do like some of the names that the Brewers put together. Just you took all the other ones I wanted to say, so I just want to shout the Brewers out, I guess.
It was a very Brewers draft. I'm big on Julian Garcia. So I like that pick for them to snag in the 4th round. But going taking a reach a little bit on a guy in the 1st round and then in the 2nd round snagging the guy that seemed to fall down boards a little bit seems to be a very Brewers strategy, very on brand. We have a comment question I'll get to. Dom Santarelli probably going to be one of the guys that goes earlier today if I had to guess. Big power guy, maybe poor contact rates, but a good approach. You'll expect to see him go in the 5th or 6th round today. I don't know if anybody else wants to hit on him, but he was a combine guy, right?
Yeah, he showed. I think out of the prep bats, he was the most powerful batter there. He's right at the range. I'd assume if it's not in this next round, he probably will be a campus get for LSU. Obviously, the very strong power, as you expect. A lot of bat to ball concerns. Very, very much like have that boomer bust profile that I have just around my top 100. I have him at 110, my personal board. So any team that selects him now or going forward will be getting good value on him.
JB, you have any combine thoughts?
Yeah. To hit on that a little bit there, Santarelli kind of was one of those guys at the combine. There's a lot of guys that kind of showed some insane juice at the combine, like Varys, Bowen, a lot of these high school kids kind of showed out like that. But, I think the guy that Santarelli was really competing with was Colin Bland, I think in his demographic. And we saw Bland obviously go yesterday with Tampa Bay. And the biggest difference is that, if you're going to take a guy like that it's kind of hard to find a position with juice, you need to have some more certainty with the bat to ball, which I think Bland is a lot better about that. And it's a little bit more adjustable and athletic of a swing. So Santarelli, he's got a ton of upside, but I think he's a guy that's a good fit to head to campus. The offensive upside is there, but the swing and miss is a huge concern. He definitely needs to see more advanced pitching, I think.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I think LSU is going to get a couple guys to campus like Lucas Naraki and Nathaniel Davis, but I don't think Santarelli is going to be one of them. I think he goes pretty early on today if I had to guess. Agree on this comment. Second this. Appreciate the love. Appreciate you watching the stream. Yeah, I'm a big Giants guy. They were my favorite draft yesterday. I think the top three in particular, somehow getting Jackson Flora, Carson Bowman, and Caden Wechter was massive. Bowman and Flora were both two guys in the top 10 on my board as a whole. I've been super high on Bowman for a while. Caden Wechter, I know JB's talked about how people in the industry liked him for a while, seeing him in person, getting some live looks. He was near the top 50-ish on my board too, but I think you're going to be able to develop those three arms really well. Peyton Bonds has some big power. He showed out at the combine. Northeast guy that Jake's gotten some eyes on a couple times this year. I mean, also the Bonds last name is like that. San Francisco taking him is just so on brand. I mean, that's going to sell jerseys. Yeah, I mean, that's just my favorite overall. I think the value you're getting from a lot of those arms, it's going to pan out.
It's definitely going to be a big test on their pitching development. Really three powerful arms that they got. And maybe Trevor could speak more to it, but how they go from there is definitely going to be a big question to see if this will be a successful draft for them.
Yeah, no, they've given themselves a lot of really good upside, right? Because a lot of the top of their system is built on just honestly internationally signed infielders, Luis Hernandez, Joshua Gonzalez, and Johnny Level. So now they add in some pitching. The pitching is going to move a little bit quicker. It does put a little bit of pressure on them to be able to develop that pitching, but with a guy like Flora, I think you have a decent floor that he's going to be a big leaguer in some capacity, just with his stuff. So if they can develop the other guys, I think that they are setting themselves up in a really good spot, at least from a pitching standpoint, because the hitting, even though it's a few years out, it's looking really good right now.
Okay, and we're actually rolling. The draft tracker has gotten started.
Oh, the stream hasn't started for me yet. But
yeah, it's still
right
up, but the Rockies have already selected Tyler Putnam, 136. He was a Tennessee commit, right-hander, but really, really hard fastball. I want to double check my notes on him. Yeah, he has like a very big fastball slider profile. What he's shown in the spring, though, just kind of in the summer, is zero command. So we'll see if the Rockies can work that in with him. But pretty exciting first pick. I would have assumed it's gonna be a lot of. Oh, guess we are really rolling. White Sox 137 go. My guy.
Cal Scolari.
Yeah, again, very another profile, but just on the college side. Scolari has a pretty big curveball to go along with it, but fastball cutter curveball with premium velo. Sometimes doesn't know where it's going. I'll let you guys take the floor on those two if you have any.
Yeah, I think that's another thing with his profile. He doesn't get a lot of chase, and that's an issue when you're not throwing a lot of strikes and not getting a lot of chase. It really doesn't seem to come together in a very good way. But it's a big fastball, high velo fastball. Breaks aren't the best in the world, but big depth on his curveball. I mean, the stuff plays. Just a matter of, do you trust the command to end up panning out? Next pick, we have a controversial one based on, according to some of us on here. We've talked about it time and time again. Daniel Cuvée, Washington takes him at 138. Cuvée can be kind of a polarizing profile. The bat the ball's been a question, but the power's undeniable. Great college producer, big arm from third base. Some people think he might move to first, but super aggressive at the plate too. Struggles in the zone a little bit. The Z-con against fastballs, if I remember correctly, has been kind of low past couple years. Chases a little bit, but it's big power. One of those profiles where it's like a Santorelli we just kind of talked about, where if he's making contact, it's going to go a long way. It's just a matter of, can he make contact?
It's usually a good question to ask.
That it is. I'll get a couple other comments here, unless let's see. How much money are we thinking the Royals have left today? If I were to go, let me see. Let me go back and look at their picks yesterday.
They have we assume undersaw Zach Rose, and then they spent a little bit to slide him. You'd imagine.
Yeah. I would imagine this number on the screen is probably roughly accurate. Maybe like 2.5. Just off the dome. I think that's probably about accurate. I don't know if they try and take a shot here pretty early on with 151 on a prepster, or if they wait a little bit, or how they trying to handle that money. But yeah, I would imagine this range is probably about right if I had to guess. Another pick just came off the board, 139. The Twins take Steele Murdoch from UC San Diego. That's a interesting one. I'm a little lower on Murdoch than most people, so someone else can talk about him after me if you're higher than him. But I mean, it's like the velo drop off throughout games is kind of concerning. I'm not sure if he really sticks as a starter long term. And then beyond the fastball slider, the secondaries are kind of iffy. He extends down the mound super well, though. Mid-90s fastball, touch 98 with it in the past. If he can reel in the command and control a little bit and find the strike zone a little more and find a way to maintain his velo a little better, there's a chance. But I don't know. I'm a little lower on him than the general consensus it seems to be.
Yeah, he kind of like your general power sinker slider changeup. Uses the changeup only a little bit. Definitely a kind of reliever look. Command has come and gone, but when he's been rolling, it's been dominant. And speaking of when he's been rolling, he actually outdueled Jackson Fleur when the two faced. I think that was the start when he had, I believe it was 19 strikeouts in 8 innings. Fleur only had like 10 and 7. But yeah, when Murdoch has been on, he's been one of those dominant pitchers. It's just been a little too infrequent.
Yeah.
Imagine a reliever named Steele Murdoch coming out of the bullpen though.
Oh yeah,
that's electric.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Ryan Marone.
I'm about to say, yeah, the Pirates are putting together one of my favorite drafts still. I love Ryan Marone. JB, you can talk about him after this because I know you've seen him a ton. But I mean, he's low 90s fastball, huge crossfire from the left side, big depth on the curveball, locates pretty well. He has struggled. He struggles to locate his secondaries a little bit, but like the changeup, fastball locates pretty well. Good velo separation on the changeup. I think there's a big future there if they can reel him in a little bit. But he did have a forearm strain that kind of caused him to not pitch as much throughout the year. But the potential's very much there.
Yeah, the injury is kind of the thing that held him back this year. Also, I think he could have pushed his name up the draft a little more. But it's a high command type of guy. The changeup's probably the plus offering there, but it's high command control. Probably got to develop the secondaries, the breaking balls, especially a little more, but definitely a fun arm to develop that's got a starter profile.
Yep. Next pick came in, but I'm gonna try and get to some of these comments. If we can't get to them all, I apologize.
Yeah, we can trail behind on the on the picks.
Thoughts on Tyler Kappa? He might go like later today. Older guy with control issues, really. The reliever, the closer, really for Virginia most of this year. He's got solid stuff, but I mean, it's a typical late reliever profile, and someone's going to save money by giving him like $5,000, if anything, or for a signing bonus, just because he's almost 23 years old, little older. We'll see. Hudson Calhoun from Ole Miss was taken yesterday
by the Rangers, 117th.
Rangers, that was it. Yeah, I mean, we talked about him a little bit yesterday, but personally, I think it's also just a typical reliever profile. I think it's a dodge that you said that you think that they can turn him into a starter maybe, but it's like not a big strike thrower with like fastballs. Strike percentage is kind of low if I remember correctly. The command's not great, but it's big stuff. He gets tons of swing and miss, heavy ride, heavy carry fastball, big curveball with big chase and whiff on the changeup curveball. I think they can maybe turn him into a starter. I know Dodge really thinks so, but it seems like a big reliever profile to me.
Yeah, like I think he has the athleticism to make the move if it happens. He also like the whole fastball cutter curveball profile to me tunnels very, very well. We'll see if the Texas pitching development staff works with him to make the transition to the mound. You know, they've been good with kind of building velocity on guys. I don't think they've been good on stretching them out as a starter. So that maybe he'll stay as a reliever, but he might be a pretty good one. And we just after that had a pretty good pick come around. 141 to the Angels is Jackson Willits, national champion. If one of you guys want to take it.
It's the second national champion that's been taken. That's it though, which is shocking. Yeah, I mean, Willits was the most outstanding player of the College World Series. Kind of a safe profile, it seems like. Not a ton of swing and miss, good approach at the plate. Sees spin pretty well. Not the hugest, most gaudy power numbers, but he's a big athlete, solid run times. I think it's a very safe profile to take right now. JB, I know we saw a good bit of him. If either one of you want to expand on that a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll hit on him quickly and then Jake can run it out. But Willits is just kind of the advanced approach. We saw him. He didn't miss mistakes. He was kind of a guy that did a great job in the zone, and he's a guy that could play good defense at shortstop, but good enough at least to warrant him sticking there for a little while. So yeah, it will definitely be a fun follow.
Yeah, Willits was a lot of fun to watch whenever we got to see him. Obviously, he was a big performer in the College World Series, like you just said. But I mean, he's kind of been rising up a little bit late. I don't see a ton of like holes. It feels like a kind of a reserved pick here, but I mean, it feels like an Angels guy that, like, if he comes in early and shows that he can hit, I could see him. He's going to play solid defense up the middle, whether it's shortstop. I think he's earned a shot to play shortstop, but I think he would also make a fine second baseman. If bat to ball plays at the next level, all that kind of stuff, I could see him being a typical Angels guy, Angels infielder that they give a chance pretty early on.
Yeah, and we talk about defensive modeling here and there. I know we had a little internal conversation about Rock with it. I think it does a pretty good job of grading defensive ability in the present, maybe not so much as a projectability, but Willits has been a really strongly graded shortstop. Like we said, he does make contact at a pretty good rate. I like his swing kind of as like an athletic operation. It's the Angels. Maybe he'll move quickly through the system.
Yeah, these picks are rolling now.
Oh yeah,
let me tell you. A couple the Orioles one. I'll touch on Jimmy Anderson. I got to see him a lot in the Northwoods last summer. He was a Madison Mallard type of guy. Just your average, good field to hit, good range defensively type of profile. Good run times, not a ton of power. Could be more of like a defensive replacement type of guy, but a guy that's going to hit his way through the minors. Probably put up some good just basic stat type of average on base percentage type of things. Good eye, that type of player. Nothing big, not a big swing from the Orioles there. They're probably going to save a little bit of money. He was drafted last year too. Later on, I want to say it was the last.
It was the 19th round by the Orioles. They flashed it earlier.
Ironic. So they just really like him apparently.
I'd imagine so.
Holy yeah, okay, we're really rolling.
Yeah, the A's just go Alex Fernandez and the Braves just go Will Libert. I mean, the A's with Alex Fernandez are just taking all of the college performers. So someone was on my comments yesterday saying the A's are building like the ultimate college fan like all-star team. Yeah. And I've been saying that like more teams should. I think like strong performance is a undervalued indicator, and the A's totally swing home run kind of with their class there.
Yeah, my Braves took Will Libert, lefty out of Ole Miss, reliever with. It's an interesting profile. He uses a higher slot, gets big right on his fastball, sits mid-90s ish, big whiff on all his secondaries. The stuff isn't huge, but he locates really well, tunnels his pitches really well, and so it's a reliever profile that can work his way through a farm pretty quickly and potentially help out at the big league level pretty early on.
I do like that pick too. I mean, I think he's another guy that can get moved into the rotation or into a rotation well if he's developed like that. Kills really strong spin on the changeup, and the sweeper I think is a sharp pitch.
Yeah, our next two picks after that are some polarizing ones, depending on who you talk to. Owen Kramkowski got taken by the Rays at 145, and then followed by Cal Randall by the Cardinals at 146. We'll talk about Kramkowski first, and then Jake, you can talk about your Cardinals pick. Kramkowski, I stayed higher on him, even though he dropped down boards a lot of the year. The fastball, typically I am the rest of your arsenal plays off your fastball type of guy, but with Kramkowski, he just locates so well. He can find the strike zone like nobody's business. It's elite command, around 70% strikes, good extension. He's built like me, so he still has room to probably fill out, even though he has a little bit, he's a college guy. He's like 21 years old, but thin guy, locates well. I mean, from a lower slot, I think it's a good pick. Cal Randall, that's one of the more I'll let Jake I'll let you talk about him because it's your Cardinals, but everyone knows about his fastball.
Yeah, I love the Cal Randall pick. Another player that I love just came off too, but I mean the Cardinals continue to make good picks. I mean, I don't have any complaints about the Cal Randall pick. I mean, it may be the best fastball in the class. Reliever, and I think that's going to be fine for the value that they're getting Cal Randall at. I mean, he's got closer potential in the future with the electric fastball, really good slider, good body to pitch, back-to-back days, all that kind of stuff, everything you kind of want in a reliever. I think you're going to get in Cal Randall, and I think fifth round is good value to get that at as well.
Yeah, Jake, we can stick with you because another one of your guys from the entire year just got taken by the Marlins, Trey Beard, Florida State arm.
I have come down on Trey Beard just a little bit. I was a big fan of him. You guys know I was early on. I think the he wasn't as like I guess productive as you would kind of expect out of a guy that I was as high as I was on. But I mean, it's a unique slot, really good breaking ball. Fastball's not just going to blow you away, but he does locate well. And I think he's got a lot of starter traits. And I think the Marlins are getting a good pitcher here, especially in the 5th round.
I just want to hit on the last two before that. Kremkowski, like I was pretty in on to start the season. I think there's just incredible athletic traits, athletic movements. The profile, the movement profile is very, very limited. Like he's shown just the fastball, the slider, cutter that all move pretty similar to each other. So he's going to a good organization to fix that, I think, with the Rays. But then Cal Randall, I think his fastball is certainly the best pitch in the draft. I would call it an 80. It's up to 100. It has a very, very flat approach. I know JB and I were laughing at that at the combine. It's an incredible ride. He gets incredible extension. He used it, I believe, 85% of the time at UCLA and still had like a whiff in the 30s, in the mid 30s. Definitely going to stay as a reliever, but he could be their closer in a couple of years.
Yeah, it's like a -3.2 vertical approach up in the zone, which is absolutely nuts. There's another fun pick here that I kind of like. LJ Mercurius just went to the Diamondbacks, which is a super fun pick for us at the College World Series. He was kind of a top performer. Mid-90s fastball, depthy slider, short shape. Changeup was pretty good too. He was a guy that kind of really stood out there in a reliever role. Probably goes back to the rotation after this, but yeah. Oh, Jake.
Oh, another PA
guy
guy just got taken off the board.
Michael Anderson, Jake.
Michael Anderson is interesting because he was really, really hyped up in the preseason as like this flamethrower, going to be like a closer for Penn State, also can hit. I went and watched him pitch in the fall. I haven't really – I mean, I'll admittedly I haven't tracked him a ton since the season started just because Penn State wasn't a team that got around to watching a whole lot. But he was up to like 100 in the fall on the mound. He also hits for a little bit of power at first base. I think he's probably going to be a first baseman when it's all said and done as well. But I mean, I don't mind the swing here for the Rangers. I mean, they're probably spending a little bit on. I don't know what Bamila is going to get, but I mean, they're obviously going to pay for Rojas and Camo. So I mean, I don't mind them taking a swing here on Anderson.
There was a report last night that Brody Bamila.
I did see something about Bamila's signing bonus on Twitter this morning. I guess he was offered first round money, so I think you're somewhat
yeah.
here.
Yeah, I was that the Rangers were the team that I kept hearing like up here. People say like, if he was going to go in the first, the earliest was probably going to be to the Rangers with their first pick. So I mean, I wasn't surprised that he landed there. I'm just interested to know how much he's going to end up getting at that spot.
Yeah. Let's see. Another triangle area guy, Luke Nixon.
Yeah.
I mean, JB, you want to talk about him a little
Yeah.
bit? This is earlier than I thought he would go.
I'll go hit on this one. Luke Nixon, he's kind of your prototypical, very just big league type of profile guy. Good athlete, can defend, really strong arm. Even though he played second base at State, he could play short, he could play center. Great athlete. High contact skills. The juice is kind of the thing that'll be the biggest question with him. Kind of undersized, very easy swing, but it's going to be a lot of contact and kind of a good utility-ish guy here. Definitely a big leaguer. He's just a big league profile type of guy.
See, we'll go to another comment while we have a little bit of downtime here. Sheelar Contreras, Matthew Sharman, Archer Horn, odds on each player going to school. I would say at this point, Archer Horn's going to school. Blake Bowen, more than likely. Martin Sheelar, Joseph Contreras, and Matthew Sharman, depends on when they get taken today. I would imagine it'll be pretty early on, and they'll probably get drafted. Something I should mention, I said a stat yesterday a couple of times during the show that was accurate, but I probably could be even a little bit more lenient with it. Last year, in the top 10 rounds, only 2 players that were drafted ended up going to campus and not going pro. So I say all that to say, while we're on this stream today, if a guy is drafted, there is a very, very high chance he's going pro, no matter if he's prep or college. While I was yapping, we got a couple new people on the stream. Quinn Martin coming in from Philly yesterday, who was at the combine. What am I saying? At the draft itself. Salguero, recurring guest, was on here yesterday. Quinn, how we doing? How are we recovering from being at the draft yesterday? How's the come down?
I'm a little tired, but it was a good day yesterday. Happy to be here, though.
Sweet. I know Coach Bardry feels the same way. He's got his little draft towel behind him over his left shoulder. Before we get to the next pick, Josh Salguero, recurring guest. How we doing?
Doing all right. Nothing too bad.
Sweet. We got a full crew. Six of us again. Maxed out screen on day 2 of the draft. You'll love to see it. This is sicko stuff. It'll get more sicko later on though, because right now we're still getting good guys coming off the board. Royals just took at pick 151. Ethan McIlvain out of Arkansas. I've kind of liked McIlvain all year. I've come down on him a little bit more, but it's a great reliever profile. It's mostly fastball cutter with a curveball mixed in there. Iffy command on a couple of the offerings. He controls the cutter really well, though. Fastball command needs a little bit of work, though, but it's a big frame. It's a starter's frame, but he's been mostly in a reliever role. He was supposed to be a starter more when he started at Vandy, turned into a kind of a high-leverage reliever at Arkansas. Big mid-90s fastball. Mostly it's like 95-ish% just fastball cutter. So if he can find a third pitch that it's a really good offering that he can command, he can turn into a great reliever long term.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too shocked if he gets tried back out as a starter. I know he moves pretty well for his very massive frame. It's just a very prototypical big lefty fastball. The slider has some good sweep tendencies, but it's definitely a high fastball usage pitch.
Let's see, 152 to the Mets. Luke McNeely, Florida guy. There's more college guys coming off the board right now than I expected. I kind of expected some overslot prep guys to be coming off a little bit more, but I'm not opposed to this. McNeely's got 3 pitches that are pretty solid. It's like a mid-90s fastball. Big whiff 2025. He had some really big swing and miss numbers, I remember. The extension's bad, but it's already the fastball plays about in the average range from a righty that you'll imagine. Not sure how it plays at the big league level. Don't love it, don't hate it. There's nothing that's terrible about the profile here, but nothing really stands out to me in particular. Unless one of you has something under the hood that you've seen from him. That it's an all right pick. I don't hate it. I don't love it.
I think Josh, you can take it.
I wasn't going to add anything to the player, but just something I noticed the Mets have been doing. It's been going after pitchers that were more highly rated, in the preseason. They targeted James Stout a couple rounds before, and then their first round pick. Let me pull that up too.
Carson Wiggins.
That's right. But just guys that were much higher value in the preseason, so just something interesting of note for them.
Yeah.
I like McNeely's slider. It throws it very, very hard. And fun one for me, a local guy, Gavin Eddy goes to the Astros at 153. He came along very late. He had a massive start against Virginia. I believe it was 15 Ks in 7 innings. Just really strong measurables and strike throwing ability that comes with it. The fastball took a leap last year, threw it a couple of miles per hour harder. And the breakers, I'm not in love with the 12-6 curveball that he has, but I think the slider that he has can be kind of morphed down to a harder pitch if he gets moved into a reliever position. But I'll let you guys take it away if you have any thoughts on him.
That's your guy. That's a local guy. I saw that pick and I thought I'd let Dodge talk about it a little bit because I know you've seen some Gavin Eddy this year.
Fun one here with the Reds. Dylan Bowen just goes 154 if someone else wants to take it.
Yeah, and that's one I kind of liked him. He's got some barrel feel. He's pretty physical for his size too.
A contact speed oriented profile for him. There's not a ton of power. Swing is kind of not built for that too, but it should be a solid guy. I mean, kind of. I'm not going to call it too similar, but Steele Hall was their first round pick last year, so I would gauge that profile kind of in a similar vein. I mean, less speed, of course, but pretty solid get for a 5th rounder.
I think he backspins the ball a little bit better than Steele Hall. I think a little bit, but I think it is very similar. I think he's kind of a similar type of guy.
We got from the preseason. This is another. I like the Guardians draft a lot. What they're doing so far. Lucas Moore, outfielder from Louisville. One of your more typical.
That's Guardians
guys.
Yeah, that's a Guardians guy. Come on now, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, bat to
That's a
ball
slam
guy.
dunk profile.
Big run times, good fielder, just not a lot of pop. I mean, that's as much of a Cleveland player as you could possibly get in this draft.
I mean, and they also went Trey Broussard, a very similar style player. So I mean, you can see what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing with Lucas Moore, I got to see him at USA a little bit. It's kind of a top of the order, fast, slappy profile. But he's definitely a fun one to follow with the Guardians. I think he's kind of similar to the Tommy Hawk profile that they took a few years ago, but he's a little bit more size to him. Maybe he fills out a little bit more, but yeah, definitely a fun defender plus runner.
Could be double plus run. I know in the preseason,
Yeah.
I think I had him as a double plus run.
Yeah, he definitely does turn in some double plus run times.
Let's see. Boston takes Lucas Davenport at 156, pitcher from Baylor. Interesting pick with some of the pitchers that are still left on the board. I'm kind of shocked they went here, but I don't hate it. It just seems a bit of a reach for me. It's a big dude, like big starters frame, 6'6", I want to say. Yeah, I mean, like decent fastball, mid-90s fastball. If anybody else has more on him off the top of their head.
I didn't get to him.
Dodge, yeah.
I was meaning to. I know massive frame with a pretty good sinker.
Yeah. It looks like a tight spin slider from what I've seen on here. And the other thing too is he kind of fits like a Red Sox profile, I'd say. It's kind of a funky, more deceptive delivery, and kind of like Witherspoon, how he's good at hiding the ball. It's kind of herky jerky from Davenport, but it's the big frame, the fastball. You love the velocity, and it's a tight slider, so it's kind of one of those that kind of fits with what they did with Ianson, I'd say maybe a little bit similar repertoire, but we'll see with him. And James Guyette here, I really like that one. Guyette, I don't know if anybody else wants to hit on him, but Guyette, I got to see him when he was at K-State a year ago. He made a start against us in the midweek, or I think he came in relief, but big sweeper, sinker guy. He got to start this year, kind of struggled, but definitely one that'll be a fun follow this next year. Might be a reliever profile.
Oh, Tigers just took mine and Dodgers guy. Let's go.
Declan Dahl.
Declan Dahl. That's one of my guys. I'm huge on Declan Dahl. It's one of the more fascinating profiles in my opinion. The release traits are funky. It's like double plus fastball carry from a 4.9 foot release height. Fastball's a little dead zone, but it plays super well just because the release traits are so funky. Gets big swing and miss and big chase on the changeup. Drops below the y-axis sometimes. With the changeup, the vert on it. I think it's a phenomenal pick in my opinion. I think whether it be a bullpen arm or a starter that you turn him into, it is only like a low 90s-ish velo fastball from the right side, which typically you don't see that as much at the big leagues. But when you have such funky release traits, I think it's an awesome pick. Shout out Declan Dahl. Shout out the Tigers.
Yeah. So we actually interviewed him too. He's had a fun path from JUCO to Louisiana Tech. He seems like someone who's very, very committed, very hardworking, and I definitely think he'll arrive to Detroit ready to work. Definitely kind of like the pronator triangle. It's always it's a pretty fun profile of pitches. Especially get that in the 5th round with a unique release point and kind of just like or like pitch path to the plate. It's pretty good for the 5th round.
Oh, good little overslot pick from the Cubs here. Dylan Blomker coming in. I like Blomker. That was actually a guy that I had, I think, towards the back end of my top 200. It's a crossfire guy, borderline plus feel for spin, good sweep on the slider. It's like a mid-90s fastball from the right side. I like it. If he can figure out the command, I think the Cubs can develop him. And their draft is they're really leaning into the whole toolsy guys with big upside, but potentially low downside kind of guys. I think this kind of fits that profile a little bit.
Yeah, Blomker's been a pretty famous name on the prep circuit. I know he's been to like a ton of the big events for a while. He can really manipulate his breaking balls. So that'll be something that for the Cubs pitching environment, there's certainly stuff to tap into there. The fastball also, he's shown multiple shapes. Like he'll flash between like a very cut and right, four seam and a very sinking like sinker. So there's just a ton of manipulation that he shows like very advanced feel for. At the same time though, like has that advanced trait and doesn't really command it very well. So if he can just continue to kind of settle into his body, that'll be a pretty nice pick for them.
Yeah, it's really interesting that happened with Blomker there too. It's definitely the cut right fastball makes sense. We saw him at the combine, me and Dodge, when he went through. The slider is kind of kind of interesting, kind of a weird, almost positive floater at times. And then the fastball, like you were saying, cut ride. But the mechanics are a little interesting too. He doesn't necessarily close the front side at all times. So it's kind of a interesting delivery and how the arm path works. But it's definitely a good, fun project arm for the Cubs there.
Yeah, I think this is a pick the Cubs are going to love. I feel like he needs to just like settle into his body a little more. It looks like a little like baby faced a little bit.
Certainly.
Yeah, I think this is a guy the Cubs are going to like to mature and kind of bring into their own philosophies.
Very, very fun one here right after that. Bear Harrison to the Yankees, 160. Had a good freshman season at St. Mary's, then transferring into Texas A&M, where really all he did is hit. I did not know that he was the brother of Kyle Harrison. Probably should have put that together, but yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, then we get Will Gasparino right here too, so that's another one.
Oh, I was going to talk about Harrison, but Gasparino's the bigger name from this for sure. Phillies guys, you got to be a little bit happy. I mean, you got to be happy about this, or I guess it's just one Phillies guy.
Yeah.
Now. Shout out Glenn.
I feel better about this one than yesterday.
Yeah, he slid way more than I thought he would. But 6'6" frame with questionable bat to ball, but big power, obviously. Skinnier guy to still get to that power that he has, but he's a solid defender in center field. He'll definitely stick out there. Good range, solid arm. That's a fun profile that I'm shocked dropped this far, but that's a good pickup for Philly.
He always flashes it here and there. I mean, the first 2 weeks of the season, he looked like the Golden Spikes winner, and then very much fell off the cliff. But pretty fun upside to tap into.
Yeah,
I kind of thought Gasparino would go maybe a little bit early because I saw him in person. I think Quinn also saw him when they came to Rutgers. Gasparino, he's a freak. Like you look at him, he's like a giant on the field. And he's also like a crazy runner. Like he covers a ton of ground in the outfield. I thought, he's got obviously got the power. He flashed a ton of power at the beginning of the year. I think that it's definitely a riskier player here, I guess. But I thought he was going to go a little bit earlier. I just wanted to shout out getting to see him in person and get to see the way he moves is like it's pretty impressive the way he moves at the size that he is.
Yeah, I agree with that. He looked really good in the outfield, and I think he'll stick in center. Him and Bogenpol rising up the ranks together is pretty fun.
I think his profile, it kind of reminds me of like a college version of Burkholder. When they took Burkholder, it was kind of a similar like high run, high juice type of guy, but the hit tool is really the big concern there. So I think it's kind of a fun, and it fits their model for sure. Then we get Hayden Yost to the Mariners there. That's another fun one.
Did not expect him to go this early. Jeez. I mean,
he had a really good SEC tournament. I know that was something that really picked him. I think he's the older brother of Jordan Yost. Don't quote me. The Tigers first rounder, I believe. But yeah, kind of a good bloodline. I mean, it's an easy swing. Kind of reminds me of Eric Becker somewhat, but you add a little toe tap in there. Good body. I mean, it's kind of a fun projectable one there.
Oh, bang! There he goes. Brewers take Aiden Canuck. It's a little earlier than I thought he would go, but I still stayed kind of not. I was super high on Canuck in the preseason, backed off a little bit, as most people did. He didn't perform. There were kind of some injury questions there, stuff that didn't get really public. But it's a disgusting changeup. The control declined a little bit this year throughout the year, but he commands the changeup super well. It's 70 grade. It was considered to be 70 grade before the season. Now it could be just a plus kind of thing. Fastball is not great though. Lower 90s fastballs, topped at 96, but he was sitting around, into the 80s a little bit. Kind of the injury is a lot of the reason why that happened. That makes sense. So if he can get that back up, get the velo back up to where it was and still maintain how good that changeup was, he'll be a great guy at the next level for the Brewers. Bigger frame, shorter guy, but, filled out really well. Cutter curveball too.
How's that?
Next is in there.
I was a pretty big fan too. That changeup falls off very well off the fastball. Yeah. I know he's flashed a cutter at times. Maybe he can dive into that a little bit more. But if he showed what he showed his first 2 seasons at Clemson, it's a double plus changeup with plus command, and that's a pretty nice floor to just kind of always have like value from. We'll see if it can get into the big leagues. I think he'll definitely need to build up a little more fastball to do so. But there is upside there.
Yeah, there's tons of upside. He maintains the same exact operation, fastball, changeup. The changeup was, and before the season started, I wanted to say it was one of the better pitches in the entire draft, a top 5, top 6 pitch in the entire draft. And I don't know if I still maintain that opinion, but it's an arm the Brewers can definitely reel in. That's a great organization to get into for him.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I think the Brewers like deep mixes too. So that's kind of one of those things with him that he's offered a pretty deep mix for a college arm. Nothing too plus there besides the changeup, but you can maybe build on it. Blue Jays just took Nolan Higgins too. Higgins too. I mean, it's a big projectable frame for the Blue Jays, so I kind of like it. It fits with a lot of the stuff they've done in the past. The big projectable guy, solid fastball, sharp downer slider because he throws from a higher slot. So definitely a fun one there for them. Probably a reliever arm though. I think most likely long term. Maybe they can extend him out.
I would imagine so.
That's already the 5th round. Wow.
Yeah, Morton into the 6th now. Garrett Lambert,
Lambert
from
to
Mercer.
the Rockies.
Oh, that was going to be a Bama transfer. That's
Yeah, he was in the portal, right?
glad he got taken this early. Get him away from Tuscaloosa. Way earlier than I thought he would go, though. But I mean, it's a good arm. He had a, I want to say, yeah, it was 25. He had an arm injury, but this year he came back and looked way better than expected. Mid-90s fastball, big sweeper, commands it pretty well, gets good swing and miss. Nice changeup he mixes in there too. But the talent's there. I mean, like he's definitely got. If he were to get to Tuscaloosa, I would imagine it would have panned out a little bit more. Getting within the Rockies organization, we'll see if they can do the same kind of thing with him. But he looked really good at Mercer this past year. Yeah, solid profile. Don't know if he becomes a starter long term, but could be like a high leverage reliever type of guy.
I would say definitely from this point forward, like
Jake,
guys taking like
there it
earlier
is.
or late is definitely going to
Weingartner.
get manipulated by like signing bonus mechanics. Oh, Weingartner's just went.
Yeah, you gotta hate if you're a PA guy, you gotta hate that he was taken. You would sure would have hoped he would have somehow gotten to campus.
Yeah, I was starting to think. I mean, Penn State's not the toughest place to sign guys away from, but I know guys up here were kind of hoping that he was going to make it there. I like Weingartner. Obviously, he's up in mine and Quinn's neck of the woods. Super good athlete. Big time upside with the power, especially going to play really good defense. If he hits, I think that's kind of been the more of a question with him. But a lot of upside there. I think I'm fine with them. Obviously, betting on the athlete here. This is great value for the White Sox where they're getting him at in the 6th round.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we got to see him at the combine. I mean, he put on a little bit of a show in BP again. He's the Super 60 was his breakout party, plus raw power, plus runner, could throw a little bit. I mean, it's one of those fun profiles, I think. So it'll be something interesting to see. The White Sox have done this in the past. They took George Wolkow a couple of years back, kind of a similar deal, like high risk, high reward type of bat. So it's a fun one. Here's another one here. Cooper Allen, UNCW kid to the Nats. I saw him a bit. I saw him in high school. He was a PBR pro case guy here for me. Got to see him a bit. He was a two-way guy at that point, kind of focused on the mound at UNCW, started off as a midweek starter, and kind of grew into that. So it's a fun little arm. He's athletic from the two-way stuff back in the day. But yeah, he'll be a fun one.
Going back to Weingartner for a bit, just kind of puts together that's 7 picks now for the White Sox. I really like their draft. I would assume they're going to have to start cutting down on spending a little bit pretty soon. Tomey, Rock, Prosick, and Weingartner, that's 3 prep guys now. They're probably going to need to start cutting down with some senior signs, but great 7 picks for them.
I mean, I still imagine they're probably at least $1 million under slot with Rock. That slot is what, like 11.3 or something like that at this point.
Yeah. There's another guy for you, Ethan Lay, Sac State to the Twins.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I never got to him. I do know that he has a pretty big slider. So yeah, I can't really speak too much to the profile, but I know that there is some interesting stuff there.
All right, so for the 6th round, we're going to bring in someone else from Prospects Live team, someone that hasn't been here yet. Brandon too, got to meet up with Brandon a little bit in Charlotte for the ACC tournament. Haven't seen him since then, but what's up, Brandon? Good to see you.
It's good to see y'all. Yeah, been listening to the stream. Really good stuff going on. Was getting into the territory where I flux know some guys and don't know some guys, but still fun nonetheless.
Yeah, there's usually someone on here that has seen one of these guys in person or knows stuff about him. That's the beauty of having 6 of us on here.
Also, I do want to get this take off. I didn't hear you guys talk about Cal Randall with the Cardinals pick, but that felt to me like a very Cardinals pick earlier with the big fastball. So I actually like the draft so far and what they've been
Yeah,
doing.
there's a couple of us over
Wow.
here that were big fans of the Cal Randall pick. One of them being a Cardinals fan, and the other kind of from his neck of the woods ish. Thinks that Cal Randall has the best, or his fastball is the best pitch in maybe the whole draft, which is not a crazy take. I think that could be consensus according to a good amount of people.
I would say that's easy. I just looked up the Ethan Lay data just because I have it on hand. It's not a slider, it's a curveball, but does get pretty good break off the fastball with it.
Pirates taking a Bama guy that we saw in Omaha, Tyler Fay.
Tyler Fay. They're
yeah.
stacking up on the college starters. That kind of seems
They
like
are.
the mold here in the middle rounds. DeCaro, Marone, Fay. I kind of like it a lot, what they've done, but I'll let you guys hit on them.
A high pitchability guy, long arm action, solid command. It's more of a sweeper than a slider, but it's like it pairs off a sinker pretty well. Got a solid changeup, cutter he mixes in there too. Slider's a little bit low velo, so I don't know how that plays at the next level, but it's a solid, like I said, high pitchability profile that depends how they can mold him, mold his stuff, mold the consistency there. Because he got hit around a good bit in Omaha when we saw him from behind the plate. But overall, he's been really solid all year. Pitched the no-hitter against Florida this year, so I mean, there's that going for him. But yeah, I like to see what the Pirates can do for him. Like JB said, they have an archetype they're definitely going for right now, especially with DeCaro.
He's another guy that like
elevated level
sinks
of
it. I think he threw up to like 6, maybe 7 pitch types this year. He totally like throws everything.
Yeah, I like a lot of what the Pirates are doing just in general. Even at the top, I know Curiel, the pick of Curiel at the top kind of looks, in hindsight, kind of looks like, or I guess at first glance, I should say, looks a bit like a reach. No one really thought he was going to go at 5, but like I've been a fan of Curiel, and then like you can see like they're prioritizing. You know, they did a lot of defense, like Curiel, Ruiz, Chris Rembert. They're all good defensive guys, and that's a team that has kind of had some defensive struggles, really like somewhat recently. And then they get the safety and some of these proven college starters that, you know, I think there's some high floor pitchers there, and I like a lot of what the Pirates are doing.
Justin Bird goes to the Angels. Any you Georgia guys got anything on that?
Zane Adams right behind it too. So we all saw that one in Omaha.
Yeah, a couple Bama guys. Yeah, we saw Zane Adams too. I guess I'll touch on him a little bit because we saw him. It's not the biggest velo from the left side. It's a solid left side velo. I think he's gotten up to 96 in the past. Big swing and miss on a couple secondaries. Solid changeup. He uses the changeup a lot. That's his best pitch by a wide margin. He has a curveball cutter he mixes in there too. But it's an upper 3/4 slot, like almost overhead sometimes. But it's an interesting look. It's a different look. The release traits are funky, so they could turn that into something, I think.
Yeah, Bird was also like that. That kind of fits the Angels too. He's probably a guy that could be a somewhat fast mover for them. He was Georgia's like go-to guy out of the pen, so definitely a fun one. Big fastball, kind of fits their MO in the past. And the A's still going at Alex Sosa, another college performer there for the A's.
Wow.
Yeah,
what's
I gotta
their model,
see him
huh?
a bit. That's one I don't think he sticks behind the plate really. The arm's like probably a 30 grade, but. And defensively, he's not great behind the plate, but the bat's there. He probably goes first base long term. Smooth, easy swing. Got some left-handed pop, especially to the pull side. Really good pull air. So definitely kind of a fun, projectable bat, but defensively, not much there behind the plate probably.
Yeah, Matt Cease and I are doing our college pitching tiers, and they just keep taking guys that both of us really like yesterday with the college pitchers. So, yeah, they very much have a type this draft where they're just going college performers, which is kind of fun and interesting, but also, yeah, very odd. Most teams don't go full college there.
Yeah, well, we were mentioning on the stream yesterday, you know, they're definitely trying to open their contention window. They're trying to get as much pitching in their organization as possible. So they're just taking college arms, college performers. So it makes a lot of sense for that.
Yeah, I'd argue the A's are kind of. I think the A's are kind of in the same boat. I mean, I know it's kind of their strategy just to take a BPA a lot of the time, but I also think they're pushing the advanced college hitter, college player in general type of route to get these guys to the big leagues, like we've seen recently with Wilson, Kurtz, all those, and oh, the Braves. That's another fun pick there, Tyson Grulkowski. Me and Dodge got to
Oh
talk to
wow.
him at the combine. Massive, up to 3,000 spin slider, sinker guy. Definitely a pretty fun. He's committed to USF, right? Dodge, I believe, is what we.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah, there.
Wisconsin kid, but he's committed to USF.
Yep. Yeah. Dodge, if you got anything else, you can go ahead and hit
Very,
on
very fun. I would have expected this to be like kind of the Brewers profile, but I think the Angels take or the Braves taking him is great for them. Like JB mentioned, very, very massive spinning sweeper. The fastball has touched into the mid to upper 90s. He's flirted with kind of like a sinker profile with it, and also like a cutter on its own in between. I think it's a cool profile for the Braves. There's a lot of like physicality. I think it does like what they do well, where they kind of limit pitch repertoire and build up the physicality. So I think it's a pretty good pick for them.
Yeah, I saw your reaction to the Gracia pick, Josh. But I think both you and I are in a line here. I'm kind of a Braves fan too. I like their draft so far because of the upside picks that they've taken in arms like this prep arm. They've really gone like high upside prep arms since really going with that first pick
Right.
and even the second pick.
I said this yesterday. I said that in the moment, I was going to try not to judge the Gracia and Carter Beck picks fully until I saw the rest of the day one. And I do like after sitting on the Gracia pick a little bit more, I do like it. It could just be me trying to convince myself. But I really do like it. The upside is there. Same with Carter Beck fully. And I really like the arms, like getting Caden McCarthy and getting Hirschkorn. Those are two of the better prep guys that I would have been happy with us getting. If you're going to go take shots on prep guys later in day one, I think those are two of the better guys that were on the board and you had the chance to take. So, I mean, I'm on board with it right now. Grolkowski is pretty solid too. I think I like what they're doing. They have a clear plan and they're executing it pretty well from what I can tell so far.
Pretty fun.
Kyle Johnson to the Rays now too.
Yeah, we saw Kyle Johnson in Charlotte, I think, Josh.
Yeah, we did.
Super
Johnson's
athletic
a good
guy.
one.
Yeah, he's a good one.
I loved him.
It's
I
a
got to
fun
see him at
project.
Duke. Yeah, I saw him at Duke for a bit and UVA a little bit too. He was he was kind of an interesting two-way guy to start at Duke, and he even was last year a little bit. But the arm's really the fun part. The command's kind of the issue. Saw him at USA too, but it's a really athletic arm that's projectable there. Another PA kid for Jake to the Cards.
Yeah, Seton Hill is actually a Division II college up here. So this is probably the first. I guess this may be the first non-D1 college got to go off the board. I admittedly don't know anything about Owen Henney, but I mean, looking at the frame, 6'3", 188, I assume he's probably a solid athlete. That's what the Cardinals kind of like. I assume he's a defender. Another thing that the Cardinals kind of like. Honestly, not a guy in my book. I don't really know anything about him, but obviously they're trying to save a little bit of money here. If anybody has anything on Owen Henney, please sell me
I
on
can
him.
throw it out.
Possible.
He's a draft league standout with this one here. So he had a 39% hard hit rate going into the other day at the end of June in the draft league. He played, I mean, going through like all of the Twitter stuff, I mean, consistent over 100 EVs. Looks like a kid that's kind of a twitchy athlete. I mean, the swing looks twitchy, fun athlete like you described, Jake. Hard hit rates were pretty high in the draft league, so I think he's a draft league performer type of pick here. But yeah. Cole Selvig to the Marlins here
Ooh,
from Minnesota.
I like him.
Yeah.
I
Dodge.
expected him to go before Isaac Morton, but good pick.
Me neither. I love me some Isaac Morton. I know Quinn, you do too. I'm hoping the injury might be scaring some teams off apparently, but I don't know.
I've heard some bad things about the medicals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, going back to Selvig, I really like the cutter sweeper combo. I think that it's a very like super narrow profile, but they both on an individual basis perform pretty well like on a model. We'll see like what kind of like kind of running fastball or changeup you can add to it to build off it. But I think this is a nice relief profile if it needs to go that way.
Yeah, the other thing too is Henny, I think, was gonna be going to West Virginia too. I don't know if we hit on that in the portal. So that's another thing. There's other fun one here, Micah Worley from Stony Brook. He's like a fun reliever arm that we got to see when they were playing here. Lefty, fun reliever.
He was also at the
Yeah.
combine. I think he threw
Yeah.
when we were interviewing or something.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the portal and he didn't have a destination, so I guess we have that result now, anyways. But
Yeah.
if I need double checking this stuff. Really tall guy. I think he's like 6'8" or something like that, 6'6".
Yeah,
and
he's
tapped into
listed
the upper 90s.
Yeah, I think he's listed at like 6'5". He's kind of been a guy up here that people have been following pretty much all season. He was a preseason sort, not necessarily pop up guy just because he's been at Stony Brook, but a guy that everyone was following up here pretty hard. Yeah, upper nines fastball. I think he's been up to like 99. Pretty good slider. I think he's had some control issues in the past, but 6'5", 220, really good frame, left-handed pitcher. I don't think there's a ton to be too worried about, especially getting him right now.
Aiden Brannard out of Nevada to Texas here. I don't know if anybody's got anything on that one. Can't say I've seen that one.
Yeah,
There are some other
not
Nevada guys though. I like Jacob Doyle. I know is good. They just had a guy that entered the portal, Sean Yamaguchi, commit to Oklahoma State. But yeah, Nevada has very good bats. Don't really know too much about Nevada arms though.
I mean, it looks like from what I'm seeing here, one of the front end arms for them at Nevada. One pitch of the week a few times. Kind of looks like he's an over the top guy. Fairly over the top downer slider. Yeah.
That kind of fits what they look for, kind of, in a little bit. I'm thinking like Dalton Pence is the guy they took a couple of years ago. But yeah, they kind of like the over the top slot guys.
Yeah, he looks like it's a high 3/4 downer slider, low mid 90s fastball type of guy there. So yeah, it's strike. It looks like he throws a lot of strikes. Strike thrower for sure. Eric Knox time from McNeese. That's another one there. I don't know.
That's a
That's
Josh
one of my
guy.
guys.
I'm sure he's got
Yeah.
plenty on him.
I didn't see. Yeah, I haven't seen him come through the board yet. Oh, there he goes. Eric Knox time's great. Thought he might have had a chance to go yesterday. Big changeup, 5 pitches. Huge extension. This is a great senior sign, great money saver at this point in the draft. Like almost 7 feet of extension with big right on his fastball. Feel for spin's kind of poor, but it translates. He's got a great changeup. It's like low 80s changeup to go along with like a mid 90s fastball. Big whiff and chase on the changeup. Also got a cutter, curveball, I think a slider in there. Solid command, bigger guy, big frame. Look, if the Giants are trying to win me over, this only adds on to the fact that I think they have the best draft at this point. This is one of my favorite guys.
Yeah.
I had him in like my 110s, 120s range. I love him.
I've seen like 2 starts or like 2 outings of his, and it's like a deep mix, and he like cuts the ball too. So
Yeah.
He's a profile that if you think you can get a lot out of him, then it's a good pick here.
Justin Lagurnick out of Clemson here. I know me and Dodge saw him. He was there at the combine. A guy, he hasn't really racked up too many innings in his time at Clemson, but big left-handed frame. Kind of betting on him. Guy was high in high school.
They use him pretty much as like their 8th inning guy for his entire Clemson career. I know he struggled with command his first 2 seasons, and it kind of like it came back, but then it came at the sacrifice of like stuff. But it's a massive frame. With I'm pretty sure he was a pretty popular prep coming into there. Coming to them, I think in 2024. There's just always gonna be potential there to tap into. We'll see if the Rays can do that.
Oh, there you go, Josh Petrovic to the Mets. We'll let you take the floor, kid.
Look at that. Yeah, I'll talk about my boy Petro. This is a good spot for him, I think. This is my favorite Auburn arm personally this year. I think that's a lot of us would say the same thing. big frame, big strike thrower. A little older, so it could be a little bit of a money save here, but mid-90s fastball with a great changeup. The changeup moves beautifully. It's a 319 breaks on the changeup, I think, 320 sometimes. It's like a high 70s, low 80s type of changeup to go along with that mid-90s fastball. Mixes a solid cutter in there too with a nice slider. Like I said, big strike thrower. I'm a big fan of Petro. He's going to do great things at the next level. I think he can be a starter long term.
Yeah, I saw a lot of Auburn this year, and he was by far, I think, my favorite arm. I think it's mainly just like if you take a fastball that has a chance to be that good, and then you pair a changeup with it, that's arguably plus. I think there's a lot you can do with a guy like that, and kind of build on the shapes that he already has, like the cutter you were talking about.
Yeah, when he came into Auburn last year, one of our favorite things, like of all the freshman arms, the Petro changeup might have been our favorite pitch out of anything. It was so nice. Second year in a row, I think. This is super random, but the second year in a row that in the 6th round, the Mets took an Auburn pitcher. Shout out Cam Taylor.
I mean, the Mets have been pretty much all college, all arms except for Robbins.
Yeah, they really have been. And I
like just haven't had picks though.
Yeah, I like Tilly too, as someone who wrote him up for us on the pro side. Yeah, I think Tilly has a lot of projection, so I can see Petro following that too.
Yeah, they kind of. I think it's if they're saving money, it might be to pay Robbins over $1 million there at his slot. He's around $900K, so if they save maybe $100,000 here, that's it. Astros take Michael Aderi. I don't know if anybody has anything on him, but
he's the East Tennessee State guy, right?
No, he's Illinois State.
Illinois State.
Yeah, he's like kind of crossfire, almost sidearm, mid-90s fastball. Sharp
it's like
slider.
a big sweeper, right? It's like a
big
sweeper. Yeah.
Oh, I love this one here for the Reds. Duncan Marston. I love Duncan Marston. That was one he kind of blew up this year in the ACC. I think there's a ton of projection there. Big frame. Was a California kid actually, draft eligible sophomore. Now came out here. Definitely a really, really fun arm for them to get to clay and mold there.
Yeah, he was a late flip from Stanford to Wake Forest. The Reds are putting together a really good draft. I was surprised they had the money for Dylan Bowen. Then you had Duncan Marston. He's always had the huge stuff. I believe he's touched 100 in the fall a couple times. In his mix between the true four seam and his sinker. Always kind of has the starter potential, but he's also dealt with a lot of injuries, especially to the arm. So we'll see. It's probably going to land as a reliever, but power reliever is always pretty good, especially in the 6th round.
Yeah, Wake has guys who can throw gas and throw stuff, and sometimes doesn't find the zone, but they have like
huge extension on him too.
Yeah. I like their draft so far. I wrote up Ty Horn for us. I like Ty Horn. I think he could be like a swingman back end guy, if he really figures it out. And then I'm a Norby guy as well. Like I think the deception that Norby creates sometimes on his pitches is really good. So while you may not like the first pick, or some people may not like the first pick in LeBron, I think like the rest of their draft has been really good. And I mean, hand up, they could fix LeBron's issues pretty easily. I mean, they are an org who's done it before. So.
And Josh, you talked about but before the draft, my value board and kind of plus minus. The Reds are a +8 team right now.
That's high. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, Dean LaChance now to the Guardians. That's another fun one for us in Omaha. Mr. Barrels himself finally going off the board.
Mr. hurt himself in the first game and trotted around the bases, limping.
Yeah, will the ankle ever be healthy?
Yeah, he's got the Jimmy Janicki stance where he keeps his hands out wide, but he gets so much power. No home runs in the first 30 games. In the last 30 games, whatever it was like 20 home runs. Massive frame, could stick a catcher long term. Performed great down the stretch for Oklahoma, as every bat for them did. Yeah, this is a good pick. It's not a very Cleveland pick, but they got Lucas Moore, so it's that's the most Cleveland pick of the draft.
If this cut up doesn't show the home run,
that trend though. I mean, like if you look at like Laviolette, they've been taking a lot of like boomer bust power guys. There's just effortless bat speed here that at least plus power.
Yeah, what he did in Omaha was the DeCaro fastball that he hit out is still that was just an insane pitch. Honestly, I was surprised that cut up didn't have it. If we're being honest,
wasn't expecting this. Red Sox Brett Landman from Abilene Christian, Phenomenal extension on the guy. Solid, like low 90s fastball from the left side. Big frame, 6'5" guy. Big right on that fastball as well. The secondaries need a little bit of work. Command is iffy, but the clay is there for sure. You can work off that fastball, and if he can, he has a starter's frame for sure. I think there's a chance that can develop him into something.
Yeah, Boston's definitely, it's one of the drafts right now when you're looking through it. It's a very interesting class for sure. You got to think that the top two guys, at least I'd assume Schaffner's going to sign for 75%. Hull, I'd assume, is probably going to be under slot 2 by at least a decent amount from 1.3 million in my mind. And then Jace Matazinski, who was the Auburn commit, Josh, you're high on. I mean, the slot's 815 grand, so maybe most of that saving goes to him. And the next 2 picks also, I don't think really are guys that are going to be commanding a ton. So
who did they?
Interesting.
Oh yeah, they got Davenport earlier today. And Landman. I think at this point, Matazinski is getting a lot of that pool. And honestly, I mean Schaffner too, but I mean in regards to slot comparison, obviously.
Yeah. This it kind of feels like the Red Sox. Like I know we kind of criticized their draft, I guess yesterday, but I know somebody said it at some point, like. If they're having like a lot of picks kind of come off the board and we're like questioning a lot of it, they're obviously higher on the guys than we are, and I don't think we can necessarily blame them for taking the players that they particularly like. Like maybe Schaffner was being pushed up the board by a few teams. Maybe some other teams were threatening to take him, so the Red Sox wanted to get him at the point that they did. Definitely, when we're just looking at the players and we think that they probably could have got most of these guys later than they did, but I don't think we can necessarily judge them for taking like their guys and the guys that they wanted to make sure that they secured in the draft. It's just a little weird way of going about it, though.
Yeah, the comment you just made was definitely a Trevor comment. I will vouch for him. That he was the one that said that about the Astros, I think it was, and yeah, I kind of agree.
It kind of feels like similar realm there.
Yeah, to go off of that too, I kind of attributed it to Emilian Petrie by the Rays a few years ago. I heard he was getting pushed up the board, and I don't think a lot of people had him in that early second range, and I think it's possible that Schaffner was pushed into that first round by other teams wanting it.
Yeah, and as JB said, Contreras just went. If he takes 75% of the slot, then I think you can just set up your board a lot better. So again, if they like Schaffner, I get it from that standpoint. But
I just went off the board.
Someone in our chat's gonna be happy, I think.
Yeah, we got New Contreras was interesting, and then Maloney too to the Tigers back to back. So that's definitely a couple interesting ones there.
Pretty polar opposite profiles in my opinion. Like Contreras is definitely a second base, third base guy. Doesn't move doesn't move pretty well, but he's been injured his entire career, and finally, he's always had a strong bat, and he showed it with a healthy season this year. Max Maloney was, I'm sure we'll all be saying it was a guy that had first round hype entering the year. I'm pretty certain he had a shoulder injury first couple of weeks, but he played through it. And once he got healthy, the power just never really came back, and he definitely fell on the board. I really like his shortstop defensive capability. I think he has the ability to be a plus defender. And he moves pretty well. He has pretty good lateral range. He has great actions. He keeps his body controlled in the field. But it's very much like tweener, fringe bat to ball skills, and then the power just never developed this year.
Yeah, I still like Maloney. He's got a solid arm. He'll stick at shortstop, good range.
It fits in with what the Tigers have done so far, I think. I mean, it's really been high on the athletes so far, and Maloney's a great athlete plus defending in the past has been kind of a priority, with Yost and Rayner and Clark, all guys that are really plus athlete, plus defend. Makes a lot of sense. And then we just talked about Isaac Morton off the board.
Oh, bang. Too. There he goes. Quinn, I'll let you talk about him first a little bit.
Yeah, this actually fits what the Cubs do really well. They like taking guys with an injury history. They think they can work around it. That's exactly what Isaac Morton is. Sits around the mid-90s. Slider's really good. Definitely command issues, but got worked out as a starter this year and actually did pretty well. Probably a reliever long-term, especially with the injuries, but I wouldn't hate if they ran him out as a starter as long as he's healthy.
Yeah, he doesn't get a ton of swing and miss, but it's there's some crossfire in the profile, big sweep on the slider, or sweeper it really technically is. Double plus spin rates there, gets ground balls at a high rate from a low slot. I like Isaac Morton a lot. It's been one of my favorite guys. I'm glad someone took a shot on him here.
Yeah, I could see him getting pushed through like Myrtle Beach, maybe up to like South Bend as a starter, and then like if it doesn't work out, you can always like course correct in Double A. But yeah, I like
Yeah.
taking a shot on those type of guys.
This is
Yeah, for
pretty
sure.
similar to Eli Jersenbeck last year. Very similar profiles here.
Yeah, I like their draft. I really like the pitchers they've taken so far. I mean, I'm a Townsend guy, but I really like the pitchers that the Cubs have taken.
Yankees take Andrew Gonzalez here from America's High School in Texas. High school third baseman. I don't got anything on this one.
Yeah, I can't say I'm
Anything
too
else?
familiar. We'll use this time. I think we have to switch out guests according to our schedule here. Brandon, great having you. Great insight. Good to talk to you, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk more about these things in the coming days. Lots of cleanup going on with the draft.
Yeah, I'll see y'all guys later.
Absolutely.
See you,
Okay,
Brandon.
Bryn.
Oh, and there
I'll
it
bring
is.
Yeah.
Making Winslow to the Phillies.
Hey, y'all.
Oh, Big Joe, what's up, PJ? How we doing?
Doing well. I was itching to hop on to talk about that new Contrades pick.
Go
I
for it.
really was a big fan of him. I kind of got Nick Gonzalez sort of vibes from him. Obviously, not the same sort of ceiling that Gonzalez had presented coming out of college, but that second base, third base kind of profile with decent pop, good hit tool, that really stuck out to me. So I was really excited about that pick. And then with Andrew Gonzalez, that's pretty unlike the Yankees' typical track record. Generally speaking, if the Yankees are going prep, it's in the first round with a Kilby or a Lombard. But on the whole, that's a demographic that they typically have strayed away from for the most part, mostly favoring their college pitchers like they did with Dietz. So that was kind of an interesting one to me, even, though it's the sixth round, for them to hop on and really snag a prep hitter this late as a demographic that they don't typically chase. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
After that pick, we have UNC and Tennessee guys taking back to back. So JB and Jake, y'all can go back to back riff on these guys. Making Winslow taken by the Phillies. JB, you
Josh,
got it.
muted? Or am I having issues with my headphones?
No, you're good.
Am I muted?
Oh, Josh, we can't hear you, Josh. I can't hear you.
I can hear Josh. He was asking you to go on Winslow.
Oh, me?
Can someone else talk real quick?
Yeah, I can.
All right.
Yeah.
I might have to hop out and hop back in.
Yeah, JB, tell us about making Winslow.
All right, I'll go ahead. Winslow, he was a guy from North Carolina, transferred from Duke, obviously. That was kind of, one of the guys that was a big deal going into the year. He had a really hot start to the year with the bat. He was the guy that behind the plate a lot of people felt comfortable with. He struggled at times, but then he had an injury down the stretch that kind of hindered him from catching, which made some people skeptical. But obviously the Phillies believe in that, and they saw enough early in the year. The bat kind of struggled down the back month of the year, but for sure he's definitely a guy that will be someone that's kind of a major league backup, could be an everyday starter at some point. But yeah, he's definitely a fun profile for them to try to build out.
Jake, you want to talk about Henry
Jake,
Ford a
we'll let
little
you
bit?
talk about Henry Ford.
Yeah, sure. Ford, obviously the Virginia transfer, the big time guy that came over to Tennessee this year. I'll start with his defense. He's kind of bounced around. He's played some third base, has a big arm, can play right field. Not the best athlete. Could end up just at first base. I don't know wherever. I think he kind of has earned a shot to play any of those three positions. If you had to ask me right now, I imagine just the athleticism not being the best, he probably lands at first base, good size for the position as well. He's a pretty well-rounded hitter. In the past, he's hit balls really, really hard. He didn't necessarily get into as much of that power at Tennessee. It was kind of an up-and-down season for him, up-and-down season for that lineup as a whole this year. But I think the value of Henry Ford and the upside that you can get if he finds as much power as he had his sophomore year at Virginia especially, I think you're getting a really good power bat.
Gable Mitchell just went here to Toronto. Should be a pretty good senior sign, really good hit tool. Kind of similar to I guess a Kuroda Grauer hit tool. Probably doesn't stick at shortstop. Played a lot of second base for Iowa. Worth giving him a shot at short, but probably ends up back at second. But carrying tool is hit for sure.
Well, I got to say, we're beyond any of the guys that I'm going to know, which is probably not great for me to just hop on here and start talking. But I looked up videos of the Cal Randall fastball, and I'm in love, I think, with that one specific pitch. That is insane.
Yeah.
I know that that's well beyond, and you guys have talked about it, but I wasn't here. So the Cardinals are just going crazy this year.
No, that also that
I
concludes the
feel
sixth
like I'm
round.
being the contrarian, but I haven't really loved the Cardinals draft, but I keep seeing all of the Cardinals fans love the draft. So I don't know. I posted a bit of a breakdown yesterday across some of my favorite drafts so far, and the Cards weren't one of the teams that I had highlighted, though I did love the Rocco Maniscalco pick. Partially that's just because he's Italian. So gotta represent that background. But on the whole, I mean, perhaps someone wants to sell me on why this Cardinals draft is particularly good.
I wish Dodge were here to do it. I mean, I would love to, unless Jake, you want to take it because it's your team.
I mean, I can let somebody else take it if they want. I mean, I've talked a ton about it. I obviously love the draft. I talked about it, I think, when we first got on here. I'm a big Trevor Condon guy. The more I kind of looked into his profile as we got closer to draft day, I started to really like it more and more, and I think that's who I predicted the Cardinals would get. It was kind of him or Curiel, and obviously Curiel went way earlier, so Condon felt like a really good pick to me for them. I'm wearing the jersey. You just got in here and see me wearing the Tennessee jersey, but Deacon Kuhn's pick, I love it, not just because I'm a fan, but I've also been following him quite a bit throughout when he was in high school, and I love the upside. There's plenty of projection still left, even though he is a college guy. A lot to add there with the fastball that's already really good. You liked Maniscalco. I like the defensive upside if he hits. And then just the other picks down the board. I love Ferraro. I think the bat's great. I know you can have questions about defense. I think I said earlier the Cardinals are a team that develops defense well, and that kind of feels like a thing in professional baseball. I guess defense is kind of the easier thing to develop in general. So I mean, if you can get Ferraro to play just an average right fielder, an average first base, I think the bat's going to be fine. And then Cal Randall's fastball, D Kennedy, the upside there. I think there is some with the bat, especially. I personally really, really like the Cardinals draft. I mean, I can see where it could be some people's not their cup of tea, but I don't really see many issues with it at all.
For me, I think it comes down to how I feel about Condon. I
love it too, honestly. I was a guy that to be different from Jake, so it's not just a bias proponent there. Well, I think Jake's very unbiased, but Jake is a Cardinals fan, so we'll take it with some grain of salt. But Rocco, for me, I had in my top 20 dudes in the class, so getting him at 50 is incredible. You get Condon as well, who I think is a phenomenal athlete, high bat to ball skills, all that. Coons gives you an absolutely incredible profile with the fastball and everything there. It's just a power profile that's fun to dream on, I think. And Williamson, along with Ferraro, it's two incredible power bats there with Kennedy, Randall. I mean, I think it's a class that's really deep, and it's going to be a lot of impactful guys here for the Cardinals really soon. So I loved it, I thought.
All right, just catching up on some guys that I was out. One thing, actually, underrated draft moment from yesterday. Bob Nightingale had to insert himself because he always does. Tweeted, the Pittsburgh Pirates make the first surprise pick with outfielder Derek Gurriel, spelled like Lourdes Gurriel. So there you go, Bob. Always on the pulse. Three picks from when I was out. One, the Mariners go Henry Ford, just kind of goes in line with that fourth-year college bat that they always love to take, Tyler Locklear, Ben Williamson, another one. I really liked Ford entering the season. I thought he would have been a nice kind of comeback profile just from the hype that he was getting entering the 2025 draft. I feel like he could just kind of replicate his 2024 season, so he didn't really stand out a ton, but there is a lot of power in that bat. Ryan Oshinsky, I believe, got hurt. He was the Brown right-hander, does throw hard. Gable Mitchell is a guy I really like. Just kind of another elite contact guy out of Iowa going to the Jays to end the 6th round.
Yeah, I think Oshinsky, I kind of just implicitly trust the Brewers.
That's great. Yeah.
I trust the Brewers when they're making a pick like this. They probably see something at this point, and with how good that farm system is, they could probably cook with whatever ingredients they're given at this point.
Yeah,
So,
no doubt.
interested to see where that goes.
Gable Mitchell is like 20 power, but it's at least 60 hit. So and like just kind of another like smaller second baseman. Just kind of like not really a profile. I feel like the Jays target, but I do like their strength and like conditioning staff. So maybe they could add a little more pop there.
I watched a lot of Big Ten baseball last year when I was doing the daily sheet for the site, and I saw a lot of Gable Mitchell for Iowa, and he like what impressed me the most about him. Obviously, you mentioned it's low power, decent athlete. You're probably not going to have too much to dream on, I guess, outside of what you're already seeing from him. But like he grinds at bats. He has a high bat to ball. I think I looked it up last year at the end of the year. He was one of the better 2-strike hitters in the country. In terms of just like when it comes to not chasing and making contact with 2 strikes, he really does a good job at just putting the bat on the ball. I haven't dove too far into it this year as far as like that specific number how he hits with 2 strikes, but I assume it's still pretty good. They're getting a grinder at the plate. He's a very patient hitter. He's been at the top of their lineup for the last 2 or 3 years now, I think, at Iowa. So experienced guy too. So I think there's some things to like about him.
So while the draft's on a break, what is everyone's favorite pick so far for their personal team?
I don't have a team. So there you go.
You don't have a team?
I can opt out of this. I was an A's fan. They left me, so I don't really care for them anymore.
You get the one get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
What about you, Josh?
Is this a break right now?
It is a break. I'll say probably the Braves snacking Jensen Hirschhorn in the third, because that was the Caden McCarthy in the second is an honorable mention. But I was really looking forward to seeing those two, like what prep guys the Braves ended up going for after taking some clear underslot deals in the first round. And I've been big on Hirschhorn. I like Hirschhorn a lot. I think it's a solid upside pick that if you're trying to go for the whole save early and spin late kind of demographic, getting as big of a dude, like 6'7" guy, lankier guy. I think a guy with a lean build like that can emerge. You can work him through your farm system, and it's easy to dream on higher velo, and a starter's build from that. So I think that's probably my favorite.
I'll speak for Trevor since I don't really have a team. He's a big Tigers fan. He likes the fluky pick. It was definitely a BPA kind of option there. I spoke about it yesterday. I'm a big fan. I ran into a massive injury this season with a rib. It's kind of something where I just threw out like all the pitch data and stuff that I showed from the season, and I'm very hopeful of his ability to return to his 2025 form, with the caveat that injury profile very much scares me now, but I'm very confident that he'll just return to his usual self, which was a double plus fastball and a good collection of secondaries. Some people like the curveball. I don't think it stands out that well, but it's good command on the fastball as well. Pretty good pitch to get 22nd overall.
I agree with everything he just said. How tall is Hirschhorn? I'm sorry, I missed that.
6'7".
Oh,
I almost just popped on just to do it when you said that. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'll give in another one here. I guess I've loved the Tigers class so far, and biased, but Pellegrin, I think he's been an incredible standout in the draft league, and he's done an incredible job at just creating hard contact, consistently finding the barrel there. So I love that pick too. I think in the 4th round, it's kind of a great mix for them. I think in Maloney, Pellegrin, high upside. Got to build out a little bit there after some questions, and then you add in the guys like Fluky and all that type of stuff. I think they did a great job balancing out the class.
For me, with the Phillies, we just talked about him with Gasparino. Honestly, there isn't too much for me to like about this class, so I'm going to go with the one guy I do like, Gasparino. And then for my former employer, the Cubs, probably Carson Yasa and Dylan Mariano. Yasa's super high upside. Sliders at least plus. I would probably go closer to 70. Fastball sits in the mid 90s, but I think there's some shape work to do there. And then Mariano, I think, is just a guy that the Cubs are going to kind of find a way to make good and like just kind of like bring him to, I guess, add some more weight, get some more velo. Has 4 pitches right now. Cubs are really good at developing changeups. Would assume he uses that more than 7% of the time next year. Commands the ball really well. I think he's going to be a really good underslot sign for them.
All right, so we are back rolling. I do just want to shout out, though, that MLB.com on their stream just flashed a comp for Grady Emerson to Bobby Witt Jr. I think those are 2 different athletes. I don't think you can compare the 2 at all.
That's terrible.
No, well, they're totally the same thing.
Let's just say it's terrible.
I mean,
Bobby Witt Jr.'s grow on trees. I'm just saying.
I don't have the numbers to Emerson, so maybe I'm flat out wrong. I do know, if anyone's aware of like the Loden score, which tests or which grades out athletic data basically on a 0 to 10 scale. Bobby Witt is a 9.9. He's like one of their best athletes ever.
And then they also showed
I don't
Bobby
know.
Witt Jr. next to Lombard on the draft.
Seems like a pretty surmountable bar. I don't know. What do you think, Trevor?
Is best athlete ever good?
Sometimes they're generational here and there, you know.
We're talking about classes. Nobody's mentioned the Dodgers class. They got 2 top 100 guys, I'm guessing. I love what they've done. Who'd they pick?
I love this recurring Trevor bit of just like the Dodgers are doing so well because they're the Dodgers and they're just going to turn into great guys. It's a good bit. I respect it.
I will say I wasn't a very big Bo Lawrence fan entering the draft, but now that he's a Dodger, I'm a massive fan. I think they're going to.
It should have been if they
are going to add. Oh, I was gonna say, like, I think the raw power from what people have been talking about with him, I think he needs to grow like another grade and a half, and I think he will certainly do that now with the Dodgers.
I'm a little worried about that because you've got Kellen Lindsey and Aiden West and a couple other guys that they've taken with similar profiles who haven't really jumped off the page just yet. But I mean, when in doubt, trust the Dodgers is not a bad MO to approach things with either.
Yeah, I mean he makes contact consistently and he has a great frame. The power just like hasn't really been there, I think, for me. But I'm sure that they'll figure out that bat speed.
The biggest problem that the Dodgers have is that in order for one of their prospects to make the major leagues, their prospect needs like 4 All-Star appearances, a couple MVPs under their belt, and then they can finally get.
Is anyone else obsessed with the White Sox draft, or is that just a me problem?
No, I do like this Kleber pick that they just took at 195. A really big power speed profile. There was a ton of swing and miss at Xavier, but he ran a 70 time at the combine and he showed like 660 power, which is pretty nice to get in the 7th round.
I really liked Burdett. He was someone that I had circled entering the draft, and every pick that the White Sox have made to this point, I've been like, well, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. I don't know if something has changed internally or Chris Getz is finally starting to click things out over there, but this has been a very impressive draft for me, and I'm excited to ultimately be disappointed when somehow everything falls apart.
See, I think if I were the White Sox, I would have taken Rock Chalowski first overall instead of Chalewski, but differing opinions, I guess.
We're going to have to agree to disagree on that one. Sorry.
Gage Peterson goes to the Nationals. App State.
Nothing from me there, dog.
He rose up draft boards towards the end. I don't have a ton on him because he wasn't really on my radar for a while, but I did see his name start to pop up in the past couple weeks.
Actually, I might be able to pull data on him. Give me a second.
I mean, 6'5" frame out of a pitcher. It's like college senior, I think. So
Max Bales, Dodge.
To the Nationals?
To the Twins.
Ooh, Twins.
Oh, to the Twins. Well, I will say first, I can pull Gage Pearson data once I refresh this. So hopefully.
I'll talk about if that's second time. I'll talk about Bales for a little bit. I'm not like super high on Max Bales, but it's like it's an interesting profile. If you control big release height, it's like a 6.5 foot release height. Lots of strikeouts, lots of put out stuff. Big cut ride fastball, good feel for spin. Lots of swing and miss on the secondaries. It's just if he can reel in the control, he's shown that he can be a starter and last long outings, but I don't know how the control lasts long term if they can figure that out in Minnesota. So,
Yeah, so I don't think we'll be able to get this Peterson data up, but yeah, Max Bills has an at least plus slider. He's one of the leaders in whiff rate on that pitch last year. I think going on 2 years. He was one of the leaders in K rate in 2025. It is a massive supinating profile. The true forcing gets like up to like negative like 3 to 4 horizontal break. And he has like a slider curveball kind of hybrid that is a massive downer pitch. Throws pretty hard with it. Probably a reliever to me, but I would expect a lot of Ks out of him.
Yeah, Gage Peterson too. He's like super downhill, like super over the top downhill delivery. So he kind of creates that big fastball vert, which I know Brandon's telling us. But yeah, he's kind of one of those guys. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. And Florida State righty Bryson Moore.
I'm starting to love the first draft, honestly.
Yeah, the Bryson Moore, it was UVA transfer to Florida State, so he was kind of a strike throwing, kind of fun arm there.
It's big, double plus, feel for spin, really solid change up, kill spin super well. Slider's kind of interesting. It's like he gets a lot of chase on it, but the swing and miss is iffy. So results are kind of different there. Big frame though. Good Sunday guy for them this year. I'll be interested to see what Pittsburgh can do with that.
He's another like kitchen sink guy. Like he'll throw pretty much every pitch type in the strong field for spin. Kind of points to a pretty high ceiling for me. Like he threw the cutter slider curveball. I like the curveball. It was pretty slow, but it creates a massive like downward movement. And like I said, like he threw like almost every pitch, and he has feel for spin. So I'm pretty confident in the Pirates' ability to work with something there.
Ryan Heltzler. Yeah, Auburn. Josh, go at it.
Hets, look at that. I didn't see this coming. I mean, Ryan Hetzler, 80 grade mustache. That's the thing that really matters the most here. Solid slider, solid changeup. Mid 90s fastball. He's been the closer for Auburn for a couple years now. Big velo is the main thing here. Big strike thrower. It's a Butch Thompson arm for sure. He gets like 70% strikes. It's a reliable late game guy for Auburn for the past couple years. Secondaries are iffy. Spin capacity is iffy, but I mean, like he's middle of the bullpen kind of guy. I think will be kind of solid at the next level. I'm surprised he went before a couple other arms, but I mean,
very very fun one here. Right after that, Ryan Peach to the Orioles at 200.
Yes, Jake.
Yeah. Through multiple breakers last year, but the slider is a power pitch, and the curveball has a lot of downward break. Hasn't really featured any changeup yet, but the fastball slider curveball combo I really like.
What do you think Peach's favorite fruit is?
I'll guess
orange, if I had to guess.
Just like the value I bring to this stream right now at this point, I think.
We have there you go.
Peach's fastball also gets right above expected. Forgot to mention that. So pretty nice mid-major profile. I'm starting to like this Orioles draft a good bit. I mean, I imagine they took a big savings with Booth, but they're running out pretty well.
Yeah, the A's also go David Ross out of Campbell, which is another one there. So yeah, he's kind of it's the same deal. Big workhorse type. Consistently went deep into games for Campbell. He's one of their more reliable arms this year. So starter profile, nothing too insane, but big strike thrower, goes deep into games, and is another fun one. And then Jack Brenner to the Braves there.
Oh,
I really like Rossau, high running changeup, and he wasn't a big command guy his entire career, and I think he's like 23, almost 24, and he just turned around this year. So maybe if that's something he can carry over. I know he does throw into the mid 90s, so it's a nice fastball changeup profile.
I'll talk about Jack Brenner. Shout out Fond du Lac, Wisconsin, my summer home last year. I like Jack Brenner a lot. It's a compact stroke, gap to gap type of hitter. Defensive versatility. He can play catcher. He can play shortstop. I think he'll probably be a catcher long term if I had to guess. Great bat to ball, phenomenal bat to ball, honestly. Polished approach. Bat speed's not great. The strength is kind of an issue, but the bat, like what you're getting with the bat. It could be like a defensive plug and play type of guy, but he can be a pitch hitter in certain situations too. I like him a lot. I like the upside here.
I think it's just another guy that we mentioned we're not the biggest fans of the Grassi pick, but every other pick after that, I think they're rounding out very very well. I mean, that's 2 preps today so far. I think they might be
The
doing
Braves,
some missed on that. Yeah.
AJ Rice here for the Rays, high school out of Georgia, righty.
Well, that's not. I mean, that's another Auburn commit that I thought could make it through the end of the day.
Yeah, he's a fun. I mean, that slider is absolutely nasty, so that's a fun arm to kind of play with. Sort of a higher 3/4 slot, but definitely a fun, sharp slider that I love. Derek Schaefer from Arizona State to the Cardinals here.
He was their closer. I think he hit 99.
Yeah.
I guess the Cardinals are just loading up on these reliever arms in day 2. Yeah, I mean he took a velo jump in this season. There is like athleticism, I think, that you can tap into. It was a pretty messy delivery, but I like the fastball cutter slider profile. Definitely I think he'll probably end up as a reliever, but the fastball started to show some nice velo at the start of the year.
Oh, Auburn guy, Eric Guevara.
There it is to the
Oh.
Marlins. Here you go, Josh.
I mean,
Take the stage, kid.
I will take the stage. I have differing opinions on Guevara, but I mean, like, look, the power's undeniable. The stuff under the hood's been really good with him this year. The chase is, I actually don't even know what the number says off the top of my head, but the chase is kind of egregious game to game. But it's solid athlete, decent third baseman. Bat to ball has gotten way better. The power's improved a ton. It's like a 109 90th EV. I really thought he'd go earlier than this, but this is good value for who ended up taking him actually. Miami.
Marlins. Yeah. I think we're at the point now where we can safely say Contreras, Bowen, Horn, a lot of these guys, Ethan Bass, a lot of these dudes are probably campus now. For us, Jack Beck's one that I'm curious to see.
Martin Sheelar
as well.
Sheelar.
Yeah, that's another one. Jack Beck is definitely one that I'm interested in, and Gunnar Skelton. Those are 2 that are really hot high school names that we still haven't seen. So maybe someone has the pool for them, but be interesting. Carson Turnquist to the Diamondbacks here too. Cal Poly guy.
Ooh.
Oh wow, yeah. Total workhorse arm. He transferred last year from Oklahoma. I believe he's a 22-year-old. I think he may have like led the country in innings. If I haven't looked it up, but I'd imagine he might have. Really nice collection of breaking balls, and the fastball got up to 98. Pretty nice like workhorse arm.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey Marco, got a Cal Poly guy finally. Come on. I like Turnquist too. I came around on him a little bit more recently. Solid fastball, good carry, big whiff on it, great extension, tunnels well. The strike throwing's a little iffy, and he's a little old. But I mean, like the fastball is who you can play off of. The fastball is something you can play off of big time. So.
Kate Naoki to the Rangers here. That's another one, yeah. Anybody want to go? I mean, we saw him in Omaha, but if anybody wants to go, they can take the lead.
I mean, like it's an interesting grab because I feel like it's the type of guy that he was a solid starter for Georgia down the stretch. He became their Sunday guy that when they couldn't find a Sunday guy, he became their Sunday guy, but it's like only 90 to 92 from the right side. It's kind of shocking that someone would take it at this rate because I don't think like the strike throwing or the stuff was big enough for anyone to take him, but interesting pick.
Who was a Bo Bryant's guy?
Yeah, it's probably Josh.
I think everyone at this point.
I didn't. Wait, who took him? Oh my dude, the Giants. The Giants are like they're my favorite draft by such a wide margin. It's not even funny. This is ridiculous. Bo Bryant's huge crossfire guy, extreme crossfire, a little older, almost 23, mid-90s fastball from the left side. Gets big ground ball rates. Has issues with walks. Has walk issues. Has issue locating secondaries. Huge whiff on the slider. The slider was like north of 60% whiff this year, just absolutely insane. It's a plus sinker in my opinion. Big ground ball rates, like I say, he's a shorter guy, but I mean, like I think they can really emerge, or he can really emerge into something. The Giants are they are stockpiling guys that I love.
I mean, Brian's is almost a true side armor. I think it's a 4.5 foot release point
Yeah.
off the ground. Like, well, one of the lowest of like notable players, and he's up to 98. It's a pretty hard pitch to pick up.
Dylan Viggy just
Another-
went to the Royals. I know we saw him at the combine. I love that one too. I mean, power sinker, insane sweeper. I mean, it's definitely a fun profile out of UGA.
Yeah, this
There's
is
some fun.
you know
there's some fun
two
guys
two Georgia
going on.
guys, two Georgia starters going in the last 3 picks. I kind of thought Viggy would go before Aoki.
Yeah, no kidding.
I like it too.
Yeah, it's like he's like 95% sinker slider. It's easy velo.
Yeah,
the
he's
slider
mixing
is
he's
the
mixing the
pro
cutter
stuff.
in there, but everything like is a very like flat line on his like vertical planes. Probably disappointing season for him just from like outcomes perspective, but I think there's always like a lot more MLB projectability than there was always going to be like statistical performance in college ball.
Yeah. Aiden Keenan here to the Mets. That was a fun one at the
Oh.
combine for us. He was ramping it up into near triple digits there at the combine. Maybe he did hit triple digits. I know we were interviewing and we were watching it from the suite, but yeah, definitely some fun power stuff there for the Mets to kind of deal with. They've done a good job in the past with guys with power stuff like Sprode, other guys like that. So I'd be curious to see what they try to do, what adjustments they make. But yeah.
I was
Yeah,
talking
so
to
I know
Tyler
that
about
Keenan missed a good chunk of the season. He came back for a start that I was at. It wasn't a start. He was an opener basically because it's pretty much like a reliever. Threw one in at Cal and hit 99, and then he went to the combine. So we saw basically both of his 2 appearances. Power fastball. I really like the power frame and like athleticism. There's from a pretty high release point. And the slider sweeps a ton still for being thrown in the mid 80s. This is a nice 7th round pick reliever profile. I don't think it's gonna like make up for some other picks that the Mets have made that I'm not a pretty big fan of, but I really like this one.
Oh man, we got some NAIA baseball guys coming off the board. Oh boy.
Yeah,
I
it's definitely
personally
different.
can't say I've watched NAIA baseball much this year, so I'm not going to sit here and lie saying that I know much about Brian Carney, but probably a good pick. This is the Trevor line. If the Astros are doing something that seems weird to you, it's probably good and they know more than you. So there we go.
Oh, there we go. Sherman Johnson to the Reds. Let's go.
Wow,
Oh.
yeah, he's been falling. I mean, the Reds just have been selecting like just been picking up guys left and right that I really like.
Yeah, I mean, I can hit on this one. I mean, we saw him at the combine. He's a really twitchy athlete. It's kind of a fun bat to ball profile, barrels the ball really well. The EVs are they can get up there, kind of pedestrian, but they're fun. But he's definitely a fun one. He should move back to shortstop long term, even though he played third at NC State, but it was kind of because they had another guy there, an LSU transfer ahead of him. But yeah, I think he's a really fun guy. It should stick up the middle. Great athlete, finds the barrel a lot. Definitely a really, really fun one. So happy for him too. We got to interview him. Great guy. Great guy.
Fun little note on Brian Carney on the week of April 21st. 8 innings, 2 hits, 3 walks, 18 strikeouts. That's kind of cool.
Good. Yeah.
Savion Sims to Cleveland.
Interesting. Yeah, he's a guy that you probably would assume that would be a campus commit at this point, but going to Cleveland, I think is going to be a pretty good landing spot for him. He hasn't really held his velo well, I think this spring, but he has flashed triple-digit stuff. I comp him to like Felix Bautista. He has a very like tall and fall, high release point, and the slider has very like raw feel for, but it has flashed pretty hard profile. So, I mean, for Cleveland, I'm sure they're going to be all over this kind of guy.
Yeah, Cleveland's good at developing command, and I think that's what Sims need. I kind of thought he was a little reliever coming into the year. So, makes sense that Cleveland would like him.
I almost stuck him into my 100. I put him at 107, but for me right now, this is the best pick, like on a pick basis, like for value.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it before this that I assume pretty much all college guys are gonna be done, but but maybe there'll be a couple more. We've seen last year there's a good number of guys that went in the 11th round, that were kind of like the priority of like the 20th pick stash guys, but no, orgs weren't totally confident on their signability, but would take them early just to like get a priority on that. And we've seen a couple of them sign in the last couple of years, so I would be watching out for the 11th round with some of these prep guys.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, Cleveland's pool, we haven't looked into it too much. I guess this will be a fun thing to track to see what they've done so far.
I'd have to imagine they would spend a good amount on getting Logan Schmidt in the second round,
Yeah.
because I feel like Liam Peterson in the first round doesn't save you a ton, like probably a little bit, but not a massive amount. So I'd imagine saving on Sims doesn't really come with a high cost. He was a pretty big down arrow guy from like the winter and the spring, but still like a huge potential to tap into.
Yeah, I would have guessed, I still guess his signability might have been a little difficult. There's Joe Tiroli there off the board to the Padres. It's another interesting one.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
one of Jake's guys. If you want to hit on it, Jake, you were big on him at a rider earlier on.
Rider.
So.
Yeah. Former Ryder Bronk. He was the conference player of the year before he went to Virginia. He hits the ball really hard. I think he's going to be a solid hitter. I think he's had pretty good back to ball this year for Virginia. Probably going to be a second baseman, and I think if you can get enough out of the bat at second base, there's obviously a ton of value. You don't find a lot of power hitting second baseman. I think he's got the potential to do that. He plays a pretty good second base too, so I like the pick there for the Padres.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Anyone got anything on Boston's guy, Kide Adatui? I think I'm saying it right.
I do not, sadly.
Me neither.
I've seen his stuff somewhere. I gotta re-pull it up. I didn't get it like a full report on it, but I know that he has a pretty nice relief projection. I'm pretty sure his fastball does good on like a stuff model. Well, let me double check. Pull it up right now.
The slide finally ends for Brady Ballinger right there.
Wow.
Troy Tigers take over.
Adatui, kind of like a sinker fastball, runs a crap ton, almost like sits in the 20s, horizontal break from the left side.
I mean, for the Tigers there, that's some great value, honestly. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny to see him fall here. I know early in the year, a lot of people had him consensusly like first round, second round-ish type, grades. They had him super high up on the boards, but seeing him here, it's a great value, high power upside. He's done a lot in his career at Kansas, so it'll be a guy that's kind of hopefully a bounce back candidate there.
Yeah, that's a ball kind of backed up last year, but the power is very legit.
Yeah. Cole Tribbett of the Cubs
like he also got a lot of run in the outfield for Kansas last year.
Yeah.
Spent some time in left field. I'm sure he'll go back to first though.
Yeah,
I like this pick for the Cubs. Cole
Tribbett
Tribbett from Santa Barbara, sidearm guy, big reliever. Looked really good on the Cape last summer. Doesn't get barreled up a ton. Big slider, probably a plus slider. Good potential reliever in the future.
Yeah, he was hurt to start the season and just kind of backed up everything. It's really hard to make that UC Santa Barbara rotation. That slider gets a ton of depth. Kind of just another sinker slider guy. Very, very funky release traits. Moves really well for a pretty undersized guy, but to get him in the 7th round, that's a really nice pickup for the Cubs. Maybe he's like a medium lower leverage lefty for them, but it's still pretty nice to. I mean, any big leaguer at this point is gonna be pretty good.
Yankees take Michael Harpster from East Tennessee State.
There's the ETSU guy. Yeah. That's the combine guy, right?
Yeah.
Let me pull up his stuff. Oh yeah, this is the guy. He just reminds me of Sergio Romo. Like he has like a rising sweeper that is a pretty unique pitch. Very like flat approaching release point. Pretty wide out. Really like this profile. I'm pretty sure. Oh yeah, and the fastball, it's in the lower 90s, kind of tops like 94, 95, but it does get carry above expected. So yeah, it's a very nice like 3 profile or 3 pitch type profile.
Philly's
Jake.
Yeah,
There
Jake
goes Bo
Rudy. There it is.
Philly's taking another funky reliever.
Yeah, he is funky. A really good fastball. I think he's only been up to 96, but I don't know it all off the top of my head, but the metrics on it are pretty insane. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Slider's also really good. He's really just a 2-pitch guy, though. I mean, he's obviously going to be a reliever with the fastball slider only, but he throws strikes. He's in the zone. You kind of know what you're going to get with him. I don't know that there's a ton to really like increase his value once he gets to pro ball. I don't know if they can maybe teach him a changeup or something like that. But I mean, he's going to be a reliable reliever in the zone with a good fastball. I don't think you can complain about it.
Yeah, don't tell Drew this, but I ironically have Bo Rudy one spot above Max Yale in my personal rankings. Funny how that works. Although he could be fine with it with the Tennessee guy. It's like a high effort, almost jerky kind of operation. He lacks depth in his arsenal, so that's a big issue. But it's big strike throwing, big swing and miss, good feel for spin, big ride fastball from a low slot. I think I like it a lot. I think he's like, there was a tier in my rankings I tried to do of like guys who I think the upside is all-star reliever, but I don't know if they can be a starter. And that tier was like Cal Randall, Thomas Burns, and then like Ben Davis, and then drop just a little bit, and it's Bo Rudy. So I think he's like right in the tier of like high upside, just reliever potential long-term.
I wouldn't totally rule out Bo Rudy going as a starter, just because anytime you can flip the zone like he does,
fair,
you're gonna have starter projection, and the fastball is obviously like very dynamic. I think he can manipulate it to like a 4-seam and a sinker profile, so maybe you can kind of build out like a third pitch like that.
Yeah, I agree. I got to see him in person at the regional. Like Jake was saying, 100%. Like the fastball got up to like 20 induced vert. Had some okay approach angles on it. The slider was a power slider too, which is a big deal. The Mariners followed that up with Ryan Wynn. We got to see him in Omaha too. Kind of a twitchy infield bat. Kind of interesting to see where he'll go. Definitely sticks on the dirt. Looks like that they might try to give him a chance at short. Will be interesting to see there, but yeah.
Yeah, JB, for that Bo Rudy appearance, he went like 3 or 4 innings, right? I think that was like one of his highest or deepest outings.
It was one of his longer ones. It was in the marathon game against ECU. The stuff held up for most of it. It kind of tailed off at the end into the more 90-91 range, but I mean it was still creating the 18 to 20 induced vert. Slider kind of got into the lower 80s, but early on, if you're going to use him in the role he'd be intended, it's going to be mid-90s ish fastball, mid-80s slider.
Whoa, a guy from Chelsea High School just got taken. That's a guy that's like 20 minutes from me right now. I can't say I've seen Chelsea High School baseball games this year. Does anyone have anything on Grant Hill, not the basketball player? He lives 20 minutes from me apparently, and I have not seen any of him yet. Grand Canyon,
I got something here. He's fastball 90-91, top of 93. It's kind of a funky arm action. He's kind of a drop and drive guy down the mound. It said he's a GCU baseball signee, so that's kind of
he's a Grand Canyon commit. Yeah, I can't say that. That's on me for not getting to see him.
Josh, no disrespect here, but it sounds like you should have gotten out to see some more Chelsea High School baseball games.
I was just about to say, like, nothing in my life has ever intrigued me to go watch Chelsea High School baseball, but like
we all know Josh isn't a fan of getting to the park though, Jake. We know that. He likes the big TV setup at home. So he's not
only when there's a lot going on.
Big TV with Publix cookies all in his mouth.
Yeah, 5 different, TVs, Publix cookies, and White Monster.
White Monsters.
Exactly. That's what it is for Josh.
All right, Blue Jays, very interesting pick. After going Gable Mitchell, they do another kind of profile of Dean West. Like 30 power, but at least 55 hit. Runs pretty well. He was pushed to left field just because of how good of a defender Will Gasparino is. But just another interesting guy. I never really took the Blue Jays for this team that will pick these very bottom barrel power guys, but they go two with them today.
Does anyone else just see the why did Grant Hill just like leave the MLB Draft Tracker website for y'all too?
He just didn't have him for some reason.
His name is just removed. But yeah, Charlie West got taken by the Dodgers. That's a Northeast guy. I don't know, Jake, if you've seen him at all.
Charlie West, that's not showing up on my thing. He's UConn, I think, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have a ton of notes on him. I know he's pitched there for a couple years now. He's been effective in their rotation, but I don't have a ton of notes on it. Yeah, there it is. Now it's showing up on my thing.
Oh yeah. Another guy of mine kind of just got taken. Hudson Barrett got taken by the Rockies, Oklahoma State lefty, big 6'5" lefty, double plus extension. There's some crossfire in there. He's a little older, low 90s fastball, been up to the mid 90s though, like 95, 96. Good run, good command on the changeup. Potentially a plus changeup depending who you talk to. That's a pretty solid pick, I would say, for good value in the 8th round. They probably won't have to pay him much either because he is a little bit older. Slot value is like $250K. I'd imagine he's not getting into the 6 figures.
He's got a slow but massive curveball too. Very interesting.
White Sox go Jason Jones here.
Guys that transfer out of UC Santa Barbara, you don't see that too much, especially on the mound. Yeah, Jason Jones kind of like finally still put it all together. Unk still got it. He was a very big prospect guy. I forget the first 2 schools he was at, but yeah, transferred to Wichita State this year and finally just showed his massive
Was it
power.
Oregon State? Was he an Oregon State guy?
I think it was Arkansas.
No, yeah, he was Arkansas. Yeah,
Wrong guy. Yeah.
Going back to Charlie West for a minute, he was a Cape guy this year. Made 4 starts with Brewster, 26 Ks in 16 innings. Looks like he commands the ball pretty well. Has some put away stuff too. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but good strikeouts this year with Connecticut and this year with Brewster.
Quick note on the Blue Jays, real quick. The 4 of their 6 guys are Big Ten players, so they've done their homework on the Big Ten. Guys.
Yeah,
Did
someone mention earlier how who was it? I'm blanking now. The Mets before Aiden Keenan, they went all SEC guys.
I love that.
That is true.
It just means more.
Some say.
Some are saying it just means more.
It's meaningless. The walls are breaking down. There's a lot of infighting in the SEC. Some are speculating that the conference power is going down. End of a dynasty. While the Big Ten was the 3rd national title.
Oh, there's Thomas Burns. I just mentioned him. Yeah, I think Thomas Burns is probably one of the better long-term relievers, long-term closers from this class. There's big stuff there. In my opinion, it's a 7. I have a 7 on the fastball, 70 grade fastball. It's upper 90s, 22 inches of ride on the fastball, 40% whiff on that. It's like north of 40% whiff overall. Really good cutter, really good changeup. Gets a lot of swing and miss on that changeup. It's a high walk rate, but you're going to see that from relievers a good bit. Maybe he can reel that in just a tad. The stuff might be big enough to overcome, though. It's from an overhead slot that he gets a lot of that ride on. Yeah, I think he can be a great high leverage reliever long term.
I think they just try to trot him out. Oh, you can go, JB.
I was just going to throw a fun fact. We've only had 4 high school kids picked since the 7th round started. So
yeah,
that tends to happen around now.
I think Texas has tried to trot Burns out as a starter here and there. It's like lower end body control, obviously, like lower end athlete. But if that's something that can get cleaned up, I think he does have the elite fastball that can make it as a starter.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, Alex Overbay just went to Pittsburgh here too, so they're going again at the College Arms. It's kind of been the theme of the day for them.
Overbay hit 100 a couple times this season.
Yeah, he's an interesting one. Big ride fastball. He's a cutter and a slider that kind of lack separation from each other. They kind of blend. He struggles locating those pitches as well. It's not great command, but it's a solid fastball, like you said, with big ride, big velo. If you can work off that and you can clean up the secondaries a little bit, it could be a pretty solid arm.
Jake, it's get right time, baby. To the Angels.
One more thing, Alex Overbay is indeed the son of Lyle Overbay, and his slider gets a ton of sweep, so it's a pretty nice profile for the 8th round. Floor's over, Jake.
Yeah, no, I mean I don't have too much to say about him. I mean he came into Tennessee, he was injured at the start of the year. Once he came back, he was kind of one of their best bats throughout the rest of the year. He's bounced around from catcher. He's played some center field, good athlete, solid bat to ball. Really has a good arm. He could play outfield probably in the next level. I mean, he might get a chance to catch too. I don't know. I mean, he chases a little bit, but the contact rates have been pretty good. I don't know how much power you're going to necessarily get out of him, but I mean, a solid pick, especially in this range, and with the positional versatility, I think if he can catch, that'll definitely boost him. Boost him up a little bit.
Pretty
Potential
intriguing prep guy right after
Yeah,
though.
potential friend of the show.
plunk it.
Will Plunkett.
Yeah, we'll plunk it to the Orioles in the 8th round, 230.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There
good
it is.
frame. Got some projection left. He's a good athlete. Played some basketball too, so two-sport athlete. Good swing, solid bat speed. Definitely a sleeper. I think he's going to do pretty well here.
Yeah. No, we saw him at the combine. It's kind of the same deal. Projectable frame. Like you could see some of the raw juice in there that you would try to tap into with him. Swing path, nice and easy. There we go. It's another ACC guy, Aiden Weaver.
That's my guy. That's my number one guy. This is even higher than I thought he would go. I would have had him higher than this, but this is higher than I thought he would realistically go. Love Aiden Weaver. Phenomenal senior sign here. Huge changeup, plus changeup. 15 miles an hour separation on average from the fastball. It's like a mid-90s fastball up to 98. Huge extension, almost 7 feet of extension from an effortless delivery. He lacks a little bit of depth on his slider, but scouts seem to like it still. It's from an upper 3/4 slot. Fastball, I have like a 55 on it, I'm pretty sure. Changeup is plus in my opinion. The command's pretty solid. If he can add a little bit of depth to the profile or add a fourth pitch, I think there's tons of upside with Aiden Weaver. I'm huge on
the command. The command's the big thing with him, I think, for me personally. I've seen him in person, especially against UNC. He was a guy, he really struggled. He walked the house with UNC, he walked the bases loaded in the first. It was kind of a struggle there. But all the stuff metrically is really there with him, so it'll be fun to see if the A's can kind of rein that in. And then off of that, Jacob Jarrell to the Braves out of Clemson. So back-to-back ACC guys right there.
JJ, interesting. Yeah, he's been a pretty solid catcher for Clemson this year. Nothing too crazy. I haven't watched I stopped trying to watch Clemson baseball this year because it got pretty rough. But this is interesting. I mean, like I'm fine with this pick as a Braves fan this late in the draft. I think it's a solid high floor kind of pick. Nothing too flashy about Jacob Jarrell.
Yeah, it's a lot of raw juice with him. I just shown a lot of juice at Clemson. Very physical guy, so it's definitely something you can project out there. Now we got Tampa Bay. Can we get Griffin Long from Sonoraville?
Oh, he's a really interesting prep arm out of Kennesaw State. I gotta re-pull it up, but he very 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 late riser, deep arsenal guy with like really strong command and manipulation on his breakers. Fastball, I think he can tap into a little more stuff. Only tops at 95, but he's a double changeup guy, both a changeup and a splitter, while also being a curveball, cutter, slider guy. And he extends pretty well down the mound. I think Griffin Lawn has a lot of traits or a lot of tools to rise up.
Yeah,
I must say that I am kind of floored that from a Clemson perspective, Jacob Jarrell going before Jaron Purify is shocking to me. I love Jaron Purify, so I'm shocked that's the Clemson guy that flew off the board first. There goes Luke Harrison.
Yeah, Luke Harrison. That's one I saw him the other week at USA, and we saw him in Omaha. Well, it's actually we didn't see him in Omaha, but we watched it on TV. But Harrison was a guy, he kind of was a strong performer down the stretch. He really kind of put it all together. He went 3 strong innings at USA the other day, including I think he had 6 strikeouts, something like that.
It didn't pitch like yesterday or something, or like the day before.
Yeah, he might have pitched in the tournament now. I haven't watched too much of it, but he's had a really, really strong finish, kind of a crossfire, kind of funky, get some depth on the slider from a low slot. He's kind of one of those guys that's very deceptive, has a starter profile, deep mix, throws strikes. He'll be a fun arm for the Cardinals to play with. So, Coach Jake, if you got anything else, take it.
I mean, I don't have too much to add on him necessarily. I mean, it's an experienced arm, older guy, obviously. Priority guy they're trying to get a little bit earlier than other teams probably. We're going to maybe go after him later in the draft. I don't mind it here. You're getting, what you're going to get out of him.
The Marlins just took Sasaki. That's
wow.
Big boom right there. Me and Will got to see him at the combine. I mean, he put on a show in BP as we all expected. Took ground balls at third base, which I will confidently say I don't think he's playing there anytime soon, or in the outfield. I think he worked out there too, if I'm not mistaken. Will,
I think in left field.
I think he did both. Don't think he's doing either. Arms minus, but you know what you're getting with him. It's the bat is what you're buying into. If he can tap into it, that'll be interesting. Kind of switch to like a Sasaki toe, still turn in type of stance type of deal. It looked like Otani, but yeah, very interesting profile. We'll see what happens.
It's a really interesting draft pick because he was selected in the first round in the MPB draft, so he's gonna have to choose if he wants to go to there or go to the Marlins.
Yeah, he was
One
wasn't
more
he the first
really-
overall pick, maybe? Yeah.
One more really quick thing on Luke Harrison I want to say is that like the Cardinals can develop him into a different way. I think if I remember correctly, one thing about him is he's about 50-50 split between four-seam and two-seam fastball usage, so they might be able to adjust that arm slot a little bit and get a little better results out of the fastball than what he got in college. But he is a little older, so he's 23 and a half, and so he's kind of set in stone at this point.
Yeah, we get another Mountaineer performer, Paul Schoenfield, to the Diamondbacks here. He was a guy that kind of hit in the middle of the order for the Mountaineers this year and stuck out there. I think he played center field, right, while we were in Omaha, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, he's another fun one. Top of the order, good contact skills there. Handles the bat well. Decent runner. Oh, and there we go. Mr. Captain America himself off the board of the Rangers, Colby Branch. Yeah, the old man holding down the infield for Team USA. He's getting picked here. So yeah, he actually had a really good game today. I looked at. He had a homer earlier. I think he's like 2 for 3, 3 for 4 against Chinese Taipei today. So it'll be an interesting one. He was one of the somewhat better performers at Team USA. I know he was kind of a interesting guy down the stretch in Omaha. He didn't have the best showing in front of us, but yeah.
Yeah, these are just a lot of like, we're getting to a lot of the older, like save money college guys who perform for good teams at this point. Like this is a very, we're going on a stretch here. Cody Brash. I am not kidding. The Giants, like, I'm a secondary Giants fan at this point. It's ridiculous. Either they're looking at my boards or they're looking. I don't know what the deal is here. They're taking all the guys that I love. Cody Brash is funky profile. It's like an upper 3/4 slot, great deception with a super long operation. Struggles to hold velo a little bit, but the slider's really good. It makes up for it a little bit. Gets big swing and miss. He really needs a third pitch to really hone things in my opinion. But it's like a mid-90s fastball. He's been up into the upper 90s, touched a 99 before. I love Cody Brash. I think it's a great play. Hello.
Hunter Posel, Florida Gulf Coast.
I meant to look into him a lot more the other day. He was also rising up draft boards recently. I heard.
I listed him as one of my guys that I posted on Twitter. I found him pretty late. He's not going to blow you away with stuff. I think the fastball is only up to like 94, 95. It's kind of a low 90s. That's where he sits, but he's like 6'7", 240, really, really funky lefty. Like it's a super low, interesting like slot that, it's going to be really unique when it comes out. A really good slider. Also, I like the breaking ball quite a bit. A lot of depth. I like Postal. I think he's going to be. I mean, he was. I don't know like the numbers, like how lefties really hit him, but I'd imagine that he's a really tough guy to face, especially as a left-handed hitter.
He had a 60% whiff or 59% on the slider and approximately a 5.5 release height, averaging it out. So yeah, he's kind of a fun low slot sweep guy. Ole Miss guy Landon Koenig.
Yeah, we didn't end up seeing him in Omaha. I'm really shocked that he went off the board before J.P. Robertson. I thought that's not the Ole Miss reliever I would have expected to go at this point. But Mets have a demographic. I see. I mean, like they're definitely getting to the ask your area scouts if hey, what are some college performing like I don't know how to explain this. Like some college performing SEC guys, like your southeastern area scouts, like give me one reliever that you liked, and they just throw a name out there and you draft them. We fully reached that point in the draft for them. I mean, they are just so heavy SEC. It's ridiculous.
Aaron Pisecki there to the Astros. That was a fun Troy name that we got to see in the College World Series. Table setter, good bat to ball, good little runner. It's kind of just a fun overall player for them.
Yeah, that was a big Northwoods guy I saw a couple times last year. We saw him a ton in Omaha. Another stereotypical shortstop profile, pretty much. You just hit on a lot of it. I talk about the Northwoods League a lot. I need a Doc Spider to come off the board every once in a while so I can just rave. Brady Neal, Bama guy, had a lot of juice 2 years ago, had a lot of helium 2 years ago, going to LSU, transferred to Bama. He finds the barrel at an elite rate these days. He's got a really pretty left-handed swing. Swing and miss numbers are a little higher than what you'd want, but the juice is still there. Solid defender behind the plate, nothing crazy. Solid average run time, solid arm. It's just very like big league average-ish, maybe a little below average-ish across the board. Besides the bat to ball is a little questionable. I think this is a really, really good, like by the definition of value, I think it's a really good value pick here in the 8th round. Maybe Pipeline doesn't have him on their board, but he was around like, where was he for me? I had Brady Neal at, drumroll please, 221. So I guess this is a little better than that.
Yeah, he's a solid, experienced catcher to pick up in this range. I wouldn't be upset about that if I'm a Reds fan. I kind of like the arm. I know we obviously saw him up close. We didn't get to see him showcase a ton as Bama was only in Omaha for a couple games, but doesn't chase a ton. Bat to ball, like you mentioned, maybe a little bit questionable. He could get into some power here and there. He's reliable catcher. He's going to get the job done. He's not going to blow you away. He's probably not going to be like a Gold Glove catcher at any point, but
right.
Solid behind the plate, solid arm. I don't hate it.
Oh, bang. Here we go. Guardians with Matt Scott. Trevor, where are you at? We got a 6'7" guy again off the board.
Yeah. I love this Matt Scott pick here, too. I mean, he was super projectable out of Stanford. He was a guy that was last season. He was a guy on draft boards that was up in the 2nd round range to start the year and then kind of fell off. And then he goes to UGA. Couldn't necessarily fully put it together, but started getting the building blocks going there. I think for Cleveland, it's definitely a lot of good clay to mold there. So,
yeah. It's big reliever risk in my opinion, and he can't really locate the cutter or changeup super well. But I mean, it's a big ride fastball, mid-90s, huge frame to work with. You could develop a little bit of something there and get a starter out of it because of the big frame. This is a really, like I just said about Brady Neal, really good value pick at this point in the draft, I'd say. Trying to find my college guys, like the highest on my board that haven't gone yet, because I know there's like a Clayton Freshcorn probably. Gavin Gallagher
up there. But.
Gallagher. That's a big one. Scrolling here a little bit, trying to pass Grant Govell.
Camden Johnson.
Who'd you say?
Camden Johnson.
Oh, true. Yeah, Camden Johnson. That's a good one. Jake McCoy, Tennessee guy. Tennessee fans have to hope he's not going to go off the board pretty soon. Jaron Purify, Jake Long out of Utah. Just some names. Chris McHugh, obviously, for me personally. Gavin Van Kempen out of East Carolina. There's still some solid names out there. Javar Williams from Wake, I expect. Actually, a really shocking one that hasn't gone off the board yet.
I thought for sure he'd go by now.
Yeah, Lorenzo Carrier from Pitt, I thought would be a phenomenal money saver for somebody in this round. 23 years old, but there's tons of upside there. I really thought he'd go by now. We got a Cal Poly guy.
Hey, Marco.
Let's go. Come on.
What?
Josh Volmerding. I admittedly don't have too much on Josh Volmerding, so if you can give us a scouting report in the comments, like by all means.
Sean Fitzpatrick, too, to the Padres, Arizona State.
True. Appreciate the love. Any real smoke about Sasaki? We kind of just touched on this a little bit. I think Dodge, JB, do you have more opinions on this? Because I know y'all talked about Sasaki when he got drafted about this exact thing.
Sorry, I'm eating some ham right now.
Oh, you're
I
both
was throwing down too, but I'll hit it first, Dodge. I'll let you finish up. Great pick here by the Tigers that we'll hit on after this fact. But Sasaki, I think there's real smoke that he goes back to Japan. I know he wanted to jump straight into pro ball, but I think it's one of those things that's really, really tough for him now because the payday in Japan is probably going to be a lot better than it would be here. And I'm pretty sure he was the first pick in their draft back in the day when he came out. So that'll definitely be something. I think he's probably going to go back. I doubt you take 8th round money here instead of going back to Japan. But it'll be interesting. I mean, yeah, we'll see where they go with it. But Robert Omidi here, I love that too.
Yeah, I mean, so for me, just touching on the guys that I missed a little bit. Sasaki obviously has the huge power potential. He never really showed it as a freshman. Didn't really show it to start the season as a sophomore, but he did kind of put it together at the end. There's gonna be a lot of swing and miss with him, but still like very much that prototypical power hitting first baseman. Right after then, Hunter Postle to the Royals. I know there's some big fans of him. I don't know too much, but I just know that there are a lot of fans out there. Landon Cunning to the Mets is a guy that I'm a pretty big fan of. He's just another one of those Mississippi arms that could be stretched out into a starter or into a starter. They had I felt like there's 10 pitchers on that staff that I like. Really hard throwing fastball slider combo. He's like an XL measurable guy. But the command is pretty good. I believe he touched around 100. I'm not sure if he officially caught to 100, but hard throwing righty. You're always just going to take those kinds of guys. Matt Scott is a guy I really liked going to the Guardians. Very interesting cutter splitter combo. Doesn't command the split well, but it's a pretty nasty pitch. He started as a freshman at Stanford and was a stuff plus leaderboard guy. It kind of trailed off as he got less usage. Then obviously transferred to Georgia. They put him as a multi-inning high leverage guy. I thought he did pretty well. Josh Wolmerdine to Boston from Cal Poly. Left-hander. Pretty sure he started at against Oregon in the regional last year. And I think he hit a 97 once. Pretty big curveball, changeup profile. It's usually lower 90s with the fastball, not doing a whole lot, but he has touched the higher velo bands before. JB, I was just about to touch on Robert Omidi. I'm a pretty big fan.
Yeah.
I think he's got a good connected swing, and he makes pretty good power for the smaller frame.
Yeah, I think he's got some pull side juice, Omidi, and he's good contact skills. Fun little runner, a little bit. He's fairly athletic, but yeah, it's definitely a really fun one. I think it fits in with the Tigers.
I'm gonna catch up on some comments real quick before we get to these most recent picks. One of the guys I didn't mention, I should have. Colin Ritchie actually, I think, is my highest college guy on my board that hasn't been taken yet. So I agree with this statement. It is kind of crazy he hasn't gone yet. Yes, it is 20 rounds. It will end at that 8 p.m. Eastern, honestly. Here we go. Here's the A. Marco scouting report. Volmerding stepped in for innings later in the year. Third starter. Stereotypical tall pitcher, 6'4". Appreciate that. That's good look.
That tracks because he wasn't one of their starting pitchers throughout the year.
Yeah. To answer this, Dom Santarelli, yes, still undrafted. I think that he will end up making it to campus at this point. There are a lot of guys. Santarelli, Blake Bowen, Archer Horn, Martin Sheelar, Matthew Sharman, all those guys. Will Adams, that's another big. LSU's the big winner of this draft. I mean, with all the.
Well, there was there's 7 Texas commits that withdrew last night. Same with Colton Brady with LSU withdrew, Easton Autry with Texas withdrew, Trey Rangel withdrew.
Yeah.
A ton of these SEC prep guys are out now.
Yep. Last one. I like the Cubs draft so far. There's some guys I really like in there. Carson Yasa, Isaac Morton, Cole Triba, Dylan Blomkar. I'm a big fan of all of them. You can tell what they're going for. They're going for toolsy guys with high upside. They're okay with the floor being low, and they're willing to take some risk on guys not panning out if they think they can get the most out of the guys with the higher upside. I'm personally a big fan. I don't know about anybody else on here.
Yeah, I'm a fan of it too. Their most recent selection, Lance.
Yeah, the other thing that I guess I'll hit on going back up here, the Cubs take Lance Williams. He was an ECU transfer to Maryland. He was a guy that kind of bounced in and out of the rotation there. Kind of an interesting one. We saw Luke Pettit at the Combine. They announced him as a two-way guy, so that's an interesting one there. Took some killer BP.
He's rehabbing from TJ, so that's why he didn't pitch last year.
Interesting with Luke Pettit, similar to Peyton Bonds going to the Giants, where Barry Bonds obviously was. Luke Pettit, son of Yankees legend Andy Pettit, going to the Yankees. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Wyatt Danilowitz, he's a guy who had some high hopes at Louisville early in the year and kind of faded out. He goes to the Phillies here, but that's definitely a fun project.
He has a high sweep, like sweeper curveball. I really like.
Yeah.
Let's go. Mason Eckelman. I'm going to go repost a tweet that I made last year talking about Mason Eckelman. I've liked this guy for a year. It's really good bat to ball. He got some weird low hands in his swing, but he made an adjustment to get to that point, and it's really helped him out from where his hands used to be in his swing. It's a little stiff now, but it works for him. Walks at a high rate, doesn't strike out a ton. Not the best athlete. Run times are rough, but it's really good bat to ball. He can get to power. I think that's a solid pick.
Yeah, Kellen Tom just went off the board here too. He was one that it's kind of interesting. He hit and pitched. I'm assuming they might go bat with him. Yeah, they went bat. Yeah, Eckelman too. That we saw him at the combine. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
we saw him take BP.
I
It's
was
kind of
interviewing
interesting
them,
setup.
but
Yeah, kind of interesting setup. But yeah, I could see the bat to ball thing. Kellen Tom, he's kind of just like it's a bat first type of guy. He's probably is a first baseman, bigger frame, not a great athlete, but maybe you can thin him out a little bit and put him at a corner. Out of Corona del Sol. I don't know if you got anything, Dodge. Usually you got some more stuff on these guys, but
no, I didn't get him much. I do want to shout out though that Robert Omidi, I don't know why I kind of blanked in the moment, is my new highest on value pick. It's plus 143 for me. Ranked him at 103, taken at 246.
Yeah, he was a really
fun. Shout out Tyler, what's up? Aaron Piansecki, Northwoods League guy from last year. We saw him a lot in Omaha this year. Stereotypical shortstop, good bat to ball, as JB said earlier, good table setter. I'm really not sure what the upside is, but I think the floor is kind of high. Personally, I think he'll just kind of sit his way in the minors or keep himself in the minors for a long time. I'm not really sure he ever makes it to the big leagues. I'm not sure what you can really get out of the profile, but good bat at Troy, solid bat at Central Michigan before he was there. I don't hate it. Miles Gostola.
Yeah, we have him. Gonzaga transferred to Oregon.
Yeah, is that another Dodge guy?
Yeah, no, he's pretty fun. Really strong command. And nice change-up curveball combo. He really ticked up at the end of the season, especially as Colin Clark got pushed out of the Oregon rotation. Gostola he's got a pretty cool sinking profile on his fastball. Definitely a little more of a pitch to contact guy, but he commands the zone really well.
Tanner Sagaspi starting off the 9th round.
Oh, I like him.
That's a big money saver right there.
He was a Cal Poly transfer at TCU out of the pen, massive 12.6 curve, and he's got good rise above expected on the fastball.
Isn't he 24 years old, or am I tripping?
Yeah.
He's Hey, you know what? People probably told him to get a job over the past year. Congrats, he just got a job.
Yeah.
Let's go, Tanner. He will make $5,000 with a signing bonus. We're in that range. I'm gonna look last year. I wonder what the earliest was that some guy got the infamous $5,000 signing bonus. I'm gonna guess it was around now, maybe earlier.
Luke Crater from Virginia Tech to the White Sox. That's an interesting one.
Where can I find
Two
last
more
year's
rounds for this first
why is the
round,
link
yeah.
not
Okay, Tanner Sagupsi to the Rockies. I don't know if I like him now.
Yeah.
Luke
I
Crater.
haven't seen much of that. I haven't seen Crater much.
I was about to say, I've watched a good amount of Virginia Tech baseball this year. I have not seen Luke Crater much, so I'd be lying if I said I had a ton of insight on him. I didn't see him in Charlotte. I watched a couple
in Charlotte.
games. Huh?
He did throw in Charlotte. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember him throwing in Charlotte. He might have. I don't remember him throwing in Charlotte. Although, did he throw against Carolina?
No, Notre Dame, I think it looks like.
Oh, wait, no, because
Cashel Duggar here, too.
I don't remember that.
Cashel
Duggar's
next. Austin Hedges.
Cashel Duggar is an interesting one because it's a matter of, do you think someone's going to take a chance just on the glove, and it looks like the Nationals are going to. The glove is really good. It's a super, super strong arm. No power, though. Bat to ball is it's average. It's a little better than you'd expect, but, the power is phenomenal. He lacks real physicality in the box, though. Good approach on the other hand. But the glove is absolutely phenomenal. We'll see if he can hit or if he's just going to be I guess his upside would be like a every third day catcher kind of replacement at the big league level, like a bench bat sort of guy. I can see that being the upside for sure.
Yeah, Josh, we got a Twitter comment from someone you know very well, so maybe you want to answer that.
Oh, I know this guy. Biggest surprise that hasn't been drafted. There are some high school guys that are definitely big shocks, like Archer Horn, Blake Bowen, Joseph Contreras, but I would say probably even either Gavin Gallagher or Colin Ritchie. Those have to be the biggest shocks at this point.
Shout out Pops for giving us a ride in Omaha. Needs to be said on the pod.
This
Needs
was
his due. Shout out
our
Pops.
Uber driver in
It was
Omaha.
clutch.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all have anything else on that, but I would say those are probably the guys off my board. Will Adams out of Hoover, ironically, is another one for me.
Martin Schuler for me. I don't get how a model team isn't all in on him. It's elite data for a prep guy.
Trey Phelps to Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Well, also PA guys. Got anything on Georgetown pitcher JT Rash?
Rab, whatever. Rabe.
Quinn, I can let you can take that. I have not seen JT. I know the name. I do not know a ton about him. I don't have a whole lot to add. Big body, grad guy. I'm assuming he's been a starter for them for a little while. Probably a pretty reliable pitcher, if I had to guess. I don't know much about him under the hood, though, to be honest.
Neither do I.
Can I foreshadow the next pick for the Giants? No, I can't. But actually, if we're gonna go with along the same trend of guys that I like that they take, it would be like a Colin Ritchie or something. Honestly,
I've appeared. I just want to say that the Angels just took Trevor Hansen, elite first name on this guy. just high end, 80 grade.
They need to be said at least once today because Josh had to ease off after yesterday. So love that. It's a fastball, curveball, changeup. It's a typical starting profile for Hansen. He's been there at UCI for a bit too. So
he's got a hard 12-6 in his throwing strikes. So it's pretty nice. Like pitcher floor, I guess, if you want to consider that.
Colin McKinney at Arizona to the Orioles here. I don't think we saw him.
I don't know how to do all this coughing or all this talking, man. My voice is dying out.
I guess McKinney was he was in the draft league, I guess. Looking at it right here. Hit a season best 97. He drew 43% whiff.
Pretty good
in the draft league, going 95, topped out at 97, 17 and 12 fastball, cutter at 90, 8 vert, -1 horizontal, and a curveball, 81, -11 IVB. So solid repertoire there.
From what I just said, if my prediction of Colin Ritchie were to somehow be true, this would become accurate. So I'd be okay with it.
Tanner Marsh to the A's.
Tanner Marsh.
Really strong defensive middle infielder with Liberty. I'm pretty sure he made really good bat to ball. I didn't get a full report on him yet, but
he's a bat to ball first guy. Good athlete.
Another college performer to the A's. I think is that the entire draft? They haven't taken a prep. I'm pretty sure.
I think it's all college guys. Yes, you are correct.
So that's really interesting because I know they're making a point of it to try to contend when they move to Vegas. I don't know. That's definitely a strategy. I feel like it borders on a little bit of Angels going no hitters, but they have taken good guys. So I think they've managed it well. I just think for a system that still is kind of devoid of talent outside of Leo DeVry and Jamie Arnold. I think you would take some bigger development swings.
I'll say though, I really do like some of their picks they've had so far. Between Burris, Edwards, Gackle,
Alex Hernandez,
Martin, Alex Hernandez, in the 5th. Their first 5 rounds worth of picks, 6 selections in total. I love all of them, and
this is a good Braves pick, I think. Staying in Atlanta, Parker Broges, outfielder from Georgia Tech. I got to see him in person a few times this year, actually. Big pop, solid bat to ball. Barrels up the ball pretty consistently. I think this is a really solid pick. Older guy, going to save a little bit of money here. I'm cool with this.
Our first prep guy in a while here, Ty Jones out of Jackson Academy.
Oh, JA. Nice.
I don't know if anybody's got much on this one.
So, JB, do we have a comment on the I would say, all right, am I missing anybody? Have I not said a name besides Colin Ritchie, Gavin Gallagher, and someone else? Oh, and Cam Johnson. Those are the really big, shocking college guys that haven't gone yet, I think.
Yeah.
What are the odds any of those three make it back to campus? Because I think at this point, these are real tumbles for them.
I think it's near 100% for a lot of these guys, honestly. Unless they're here in the next few picks or an overslot deal comes through, I think most of these guys will head back.
Interesting.
Johnson was in the portal, I know.
Cam Johnson?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, I think. Wait,
I was talking about Camden Johnson.
I'm about to say, yeah, one of us is wrong. There's two Cam Johnsons for Oklahoma. The one I was talking about was the batter. I think the pitcher's in the portal.
Oh, yeah. Pitcher one's in the portal. Might be.
It applies to both, but that's the issue
yes.
today.
Yeah. No, my bad. Yes, hitter Cam Johnson. Yeah. I mean, there's a high chance. I mean, that he's getting a lot from Oklahoma coming off a national championship. I bet their NIL portal money is pretty good. It's the same at Carolina. They probably have the funds now. So Gallagher and him could definitely rein in a pretty solid number to come back to campus that would rival or it probably beats the slot they get at this point. So
Oklahoma State has some good 27 draft guys. For them to get Colin Ritchie back would be huge, or maybe Garrett Scholl, depending where he goes today. Carolina, there is no world in which you would have imagined Gavin Gallagher coming back to campus. So if you were to get him back next year, that would be absolutely massive for them too.
I feel like Garrett Scholl is probably a good profile to come, or good bet to come back. I'm just seeing now, just scrolling Twitter, Ari Alexander is reporting that the Von Lackey signing bonus will be $9.5 million, which I think just around slot. I got to double check that, but
it's more than I figured with him. I thought he would have been more of an 8.5 kind of guy. That's kind of shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe Teddy was asking for a little bit less than they thought, and that's why they took him in the second round. That's an option there.
Yeah.
If we want to go back and talk about Ty Jones for a minute, looks like he was a 2A in high school, fastball up to 93-ish, so sitting in the low 90s, but pretty good mover on the mound. Looks like he got drafted.
Got a few other ones. We got Jaden Loveliner from San Diego.
Yeah, no. JB, sorry, I don't know if you could hear Quinn. He was giving us a rundown on Ty Jones.
Shoot.
I don't know if you could hear anything he was saying.
No, my bad. I can't hear him. I swear, every time someone comes in and out, somebody just goes completely mute for some reason on this thing, and I have no idea why.
All good. Just to finish up on
I know, in the past when we did the podcast.
All right, well, he's talking again.
All right, I'm gonna go.
Let's see if this will fix it.
He's gonna go right now, so we will let you know when you can go again, JB.
I'll give you a thumbs up. Yeah, Ty Jones.
I was gonna bounce out and come back in because sometimes that.
Dude, come on, man. Let him get his point about Ty Jones out.
JB, shut up.
Yeah,
he's going right now.
Got drafted as an outfielder.
I'm sorry. Can you guys hear each other?
This guy sucks, man. No, I'm kidding.
Drafted as an outfielder, pretty physical, good bat speed. I just want to stop talking now, so I'm going to be done.
All right, awesome. Well, great job, Quinn. Really fun one here. Chris Katz to Arizona out of Mercer. He's a guy, I think he was second to Gavin Kelly in barrels this season. So absolutely destroyed the baseball as a 23-year-old, probably DH. Was it team of the month there in May?
What a disaster that just was. JB, do you want to apologize or
I'm sorry, Quinn. I couldn't hear a single word you were saying. And low key, Quinn's blur out background. I could barely see his face. So I couldn't tell if he was talking or not. So
got it.
It's just a brutal. Oh, now I can hear him. So this is great.
There you go.
We're back in the game, boys.
We're back.
We are on like technically hour 10 of live streaming these picks. So like, look, you were bound to get some stuff like this eventually. Good Lord.
Mike Mancini,
Yeah,
Little League meme legend, by the way, just went to San Francisco Giants.
Wow.
So
What
we love that.
why is
Not
Mike Mancini
Aldridge.
getting drafted over like Colin Barksey or like Holcomb is shocking to me from Vandy. Wow.
I think Holcomb's going back to school. I think we can put that to another one in the bag. I could see.
Probably.
I thought I saw a report that Vandy was trying to like kind of clear house of their current team. So that's a little interesting.
Yeah.
Wouldn't shock me. Yeah, I should probably scroll through and see these guys that
I bet Holcomb's one that they'd like to keep around. He was one of the.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, there it is. Camden Johnson to the
There it is.
There it is.
Yeah,
There it is.
finally get that one off the board.
that's a phenomenal pick for the
That's-
Royals at
yeah.
this point.
Yeah.
That's a great
Really
pick.
good value pick.
Does anybody else see this Caden Carpenter picture that they have for the Rangers on there?
No.
If you look at it on Pipeline on like MLB.com, they have the tracker going on the side of the picture, and that's got to be a coach picture because the guy looks like 40. If you just pull up MLB.com, like someone's got to pull it up and look at it with me.
No, he
It's
does
nuts.
look old.
Does that not look like their coach? Probably that they just
Yeah, it probably is.
It's nuts.
A couple things on Camden Johnson. I'm curious if Kansas City moves him off third base just to like tap into that athleticism. I think he can run in the near double plus range. Do you want to try him at
Yeah.
shortstop, try in center field, try to get a little more athletic juice out of him, a little more defensive value? Because I think he's a really good glove at third base, and it's just kind of like wasting his good agility at third base.
Yeah, he's a
short.
phenomenal utility guy. We clocked him with multiple 4.05 home to first run times in Omaha. That's pretty consistently where he was around. That's about the double plus range. Average bat to ball struggles a little bit versus spin, but he's a great utility plug and play kind of defensive guy that I think you can get a lot of value out of.
All right, let's get Mr. Cal Poly back in there to the Mets. 270 catcher Ryan Taman. He was a transfer from Cal, massive power hitter. Coming to the Mets now.
That's a Tyler Jennings guy. I know I talked to Tyler about Taman a lot. I think he had him in like the top 200.
It was funny. Cal Poly like straight up like poached him from Cal. Like he was starting at Cal, and Cal Poly's like, no, we're gonna take him. So that kind of tells you what Cal's at.
Yeah. The other thing on Cam Johnson too, we were there. He made a nice like diving play. They announced him as a shortstop though there, so I think that kind of gives
There you
the impression that that's what they're gonna do. But Ryan Pruitt to the Astros here, South Florida.
I haven't got a lot of eyes on him to be honest.
Yeah.
He was a big guy in the portal, I think.
Ethan Sutton from South Florida. He's in the portal. He's going to South Carolina. I'm surprised he hasn't gone yet. Who is the other the South Florida arm who's committed to Bama? Oh shoot, I'm blanking on his name. Michael Sine, that's it. He's young though, but there was a couple good arms from South Florida last year.
I like their shortstop commit, Santos Wade, who hasn't gone yet. Might be a nice good scheme. South Florida had a couple of Damian Ruiz to Cincinnati. Yeah, but South Florida has a good number of commits. They almost made my top 25. And they might now after this draft. I don't have much on Ruiz, but does anyone else want to take this?
I mean, he's
I
like
don't know
a.
much either.
I got it. It's like a. He's a Lamar transfer from last year. Did super well at Lamar. Did good on I think it was the Cape last summer. Kind of a plug and play outfielder for them. There's some power there to tap into for sure, but the downside with like there's some swing and miss issues. That's about the kind of that's really all I got. I don't have much defensively on him, but it's just your stereotypical swing and miss guy with the occasional big pop.
Mario Pesca from Oak State to Cleveland. Pesca, one of the two. I think we finally hit the range where we're
We have
hitting barrel guys that we're finally dipping into where we don't got much.
This is the stream's gonna end after round 10 because there's a long break after it, and we are officially hitting that point where it's like as much as we've known about all of the 270 something players, we're still gonna know a lot because there's still a lot of good guys not off the board yet, but more frequently More frequently, we're going to get the guys where it's just like some of us don't have much on them.
Pesa's 6'8", 235. So pretty big.
Wow.
Guy.
Yeah, big dude.
Oh, Sheelar.
Whoa.
Oh.
Boston?
Whoa.
So there's where the money's going.
Oh, man. Dude,
There's
that's
where
an
the money's
incredible get by the Red Sox.
Ow.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
If anybody could pull together the money, it would be them, because in my guess, in my head, it's going to be 75% for the first two picks, probably. The whole would be around at 75%, still almost $1 million for him. Schaffner's at like 3.28 million at 75%. So between the two of them, you probably save, it's over $1 million on Schaffner, I believe, or around $1 million, and you save about $400,000 on Hull. So I'm guessing most of this money is probably going to be pooled into that.
They took a lot of money savers from 5 through 8 too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think this is where this
allow
is
me
going.
to take the floor. I mean, I have him 11th over on my board. I think he has potential to be a truly elite player. I mentioned it yesterday. He's got top tier hand speed in this class with this swing. He made contact both in and out of the zone. It's kind of like a hitchy step stride swing, but he stays on time really well. And he showed at the combine it's plus power. I think it's a 55 hit. It's probably left field going forward. You know, it's a great park to be a left fielder. You know, you have to navigate the monster, but it's pretty limited range that you need to go. Average run, probably fringe throw. I'm just so shocked that a team didn't take him earlier. I don't get how a model team wasn't all over this. And now he's going to Boston, which I think is like one of the best landing spots for him. So I'm really excited to track this now.
Yeah, to be exact, they'd save with Schaffner at 75%, 1.1 million about. So you get 1.1 million there, about 400 grand from Hull, and then however much they're saving on Davenport and anyone else through 5 through 8. So they can probably pull together like 1.5 maybe from these guys, 1.5 for Sheelar. So it'll definitely be a very, very fun thing to see how much he signs for, with the slot being 205,000 there. So
this is gonna be a really, really fun graphic for me to make on my web app, because it'll show the slot is 200K. The model bonus for him is 6.5 million. So that'll be a pretty nice above value selection for them.
yeah, is this your biggest one?
Oh yeah. On my true board, it's plus 274 picks. This brings Boston from 26th on the board all the way up to 13th, just with one pick.
Whoa, Chase Meyer off the board. I was not
Chase
sure.
Meyer to the Cubs.
I was not sure he was going to get drafted. He was an Arizona State portal guy. I thought he might just go to campus there. That's shocking. Like 89-mile-an-hour curveball, ridiculous stuff. I am going to answer this comment because someone's asked about him twice. Archer Horn, it's tough to pull guys away from a Stanford commitment when they're that highly rated. And Stanford had 2 highly rated shortstop commits.
With
Right.
Boris. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good addition there. I think that's a lot of what this was. Both of Spangler and Horn were not going pro. At least one of them was going to go campus, and this is probably why. He's just going to get a lot of money from Stanford, and he's just going to go to campus there. David Leslie, ACC tournament guy, got a ton of run there. I think him getting picked right here is solely because of what he did in the ACC tournament. I fully believe. 23 years old. He had those couple long relief performances that were just lights out in Charlotte. Love to see it for him. He made a name for himself later on.
Yeah, Ben Stubbs too. He was a guy we saw in Omaha. So.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Stubbs to the Padres. Little fun left-handed arm. So
yeah.
If anybody cares, Elaine Gomez-Gudiño is withdrawing and going to South Carolina.
Oh, there we go. That's
Fair
another
to the
one.
pod.
Yeah.
Cooper Consiglio, the state guy, Philly.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's another.
Yeah.
He's interesting. I think he got to being a Sunday guy. I think he had an injury though as well.
He was one of those, like, you know how State started when they started getting the injury bug. State started rolling through those guys. It's like, all right, we have to find someone to start, and just no one stuck. He was one of those guys.
Yeah, I know my I know in 24 season, I think it was, he was their Sunday guy at that point, and then I think he bounced out into a midweek role last year, and this year he's kind of in a similar spot until he got there.
Brandon comment about David Leslie. I second this again. More SEC tournament comps. I got some good stuff in Charlotte. There was the David. I think I wrote about David Leslie 2 more times on my takeaways, my live looks, than I ever imagined I would, and the total was
Josh.
2. So.
There it is, Drew Whalen to the Mariners.
Wow, way earlier than I expected. Dodge and I talked about Whalen the other day. I like Whalen. He didn't pitch a lot this year because he got TJ. But I mean, he was the Conference USA Pitcher of the Year in 2025. Mid-90s ish fastball if he can get back up there after the injury. Has some struggles controlling the slider and curveball at times, but they have good breaks on it, good changeup. The secondaries get a lot of swing and miss at times, but he just can't locate it very well. It's one of those arms where the stuff is going to overpower a little bit. Look, if the Mariners, I trust them more than a lot of organizations to navigate around that injury stuff and to get the most out of their arms. But I like Whalen. It's a good guy. There's a lot of upside here. The downside, there certainly is some coming off of TJ this year, but I think long term there's a chance he makes it to the pros.
Yeah,
Man, they don't even have a picture for
just to be the pick of that graphic. It's a 6.2 expected bonus to a 205K slot.
This next one is really interesting. Chase Mora is, I believe, a 5th-year senior out of Texas State. He is an infielder, but he is now being switched to pitcher. I don't think it was really going to work out as a hitter. He just whiffs a ton, but he does have a pretty good arm. This is kind of interesting.
Guessing it's probably it could be a money save deal here.
This is like a 5K thing.
Yeah.
We're in that range a lot.
Yeah, probably using some of the money to go towards the high school bats that they took.
They didn't even give Drew Whalen a picture on the MLB.com graphic. What a disgrace. How disrespectful.
He on the thing here, his Auburn picture's there. So I'll say that. On the one I'm looking at. MLB.com's tracker that I see going down, his picture's there in an Auburn uniform.
Oh, well, I'm watching the MLB.com live stream and it wasn't there.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that. It's just the ticker. Joey Urban just went here too. Southern Miss, baby. Go ahead,
Southern
Josh.
Miss guy.
Here we go. Your favorite team.
Is this the first Southern Miss guy to go? I think it is.
I think it is, and you get to talk about him. Favorite spot.
I mean, Joey Urban was lights up for them a lot of this year. I'm actually kind of shocked he got taken here. Not a really big frame, solid defender. Not a super big guy. He's rangy. Bat the ball's all right. Power, all right. Has a little bit of work to do there, but I think this is a typical 9th round pick. This is about you're probably not gonna have to spend a lot of money here. Maybe he'll be a round slot. I'm surprised he's the first Southern Miss guy off the board, although Colby Allen will probably come relatively soon here in the next couple rounds.
A lot of these guys too, for them, probably are going to be the savers for Will Brick, I think. So this is probably in the range where they took Nolan Higgins earlier. He was a senior, Gabe Mitchell too. So there's probably a couple guys that'll save him a couple 100,000 maybe and be able to get Brick into the million and change. So
speaking of Will Brick, 30-second tangent from me here. This just reminded me of something last night. There's nothing that's more irritating to me than when casual fans of MLB teams will go on their team's Twitter and Instagram pages, and the first thing they mention in the comment section about picks is like talking about the picks they made in relation to how the pro roster is right now. The top comment on the Will Brick thing on the Blue Jays Instagram page last night was like, "Oh, we don't need any more catchers. He's not going to debut until like 2030 or 2031. Like, he can't legally vote yet. Can y'all calm down a second?
He can't have a beer. He will not have a beer for a while.
He is far from being able to have a beer. Like, let's calm down for a minute here. Jeez. Sorry, I just had like that. That really irked me last night.
Kyler Thompson's another fun one the Dodgers took there. He's a fun athlete, good bat to ball skills, outfielder from Texas Tech. So kind of a fun table setter. Maybe turns into something. But yeah, twitchy athlete for sure. Micah Negrete, Cal State Fullerton to the Rockies here.
If we don't have anything on even the Fullerton guys that are being taken, then yeah, we're fully Then again, last time we talked about being in the range of not knowing much about players, Sheelar was taking the next pick. So maybe we need to keep bringing that back up.
I'm pretty sure Negretti was a starter for Fullerton this year. I don't know a ton about him, but I'm pretty sure he was like a regular guy in their rotation.
He performed pretty well.
Yeah, left-handed arm. Yeah, he's one of the better arms for them. It looks like he's consistent, kind of strike throwing, short arm action. Yeah. Fastball, slider, changeup for him. Yeah, it's kind of basic mix. Fairfield guy for any of our Northeast people. Matthew Basiro from Fairfield, outfielder.
Side note,
Yeah, he's
you go.
No, I don't have just a ton on him. He's a power guy. I think he was eligible last year. Didn't go. His name was being thrown around quite a bit. I ended up staying at Fairfield. Big body guy. Not a super athlete, but he's got some juice in the bat.
This is like a halfway baseball related thing, halfway not. But you like seeing him and saying Northeast guy, like Jake, that's your guy, makes me think. I feel like Northeast college baseball and prep baseball is like at such a minimum that anyone in the top like 7 states in the entire Northeast, when he goes, we're like, oh, big deal. And anyone that lives within like an 8-hour radius, we're like, you have to know about him, right?
Definitely
Jake's
the college level. The college level up here, outside of like Rutgers, the talent up here really like leaves now, especially obviously with the portal and everything. If you get a good player up here, they're gone after a year of performing well.
Right.
Bouchier was one that stayed. He's a little bit farther away from me in particular. I did see him in the MAC tournament last year, but if you're good up here at the college level, you're going to leave soon.
You got to be upset that Weingartner went, because he was one of the guys this morning. I was looking through the high school guys that hadn't been taken yet. Like, who should I keep my eye out for that might make it to campus? And I saw Weingartner, like, there's no way he's actually going to make it to Penn State, right? And then he got taken. So you had to get your hopes up for that a little bit.
Yeah, I usually take a trip out to Penn State, at least for like a fall game or something. It's pretty far trip for me. Like I usually go watch them play. They play a doubleheader every fall against somebody, and I'll go out and watch them. He was one I was looking forward to. Rutgers has a couple guys in their class that's coming in that I'm pretty excited about. It's starting to look like they're gonna make it. Mickey Gilligan in particular is kind of the favorite that I'm kind of watching here to see if he's gonna be one of these like maybe 11th round high school guys that ends up going. Really good defensive catcher. I would love to see him make it to campus.
Yeah.
Cole
Another like
award for the Twins. I think this is another one of those like didn't really perform great this year at Arizona State, but the Clay's there. He looked really good coming from TCU. Bigger frame. I think they can turn him into a little something.
Nick Williams.
Massive power, Nick Williams.
Yeah, he's a guy that I was just looking at. He was a draft league guy, kind of data darling, 5th-year guy, so it'll save them a ton of money, but good athleticism, some good EV numbers there too. If you got any more, Dodge.
I was just say massive power.
Yeah.
Wow, Michael Gibson. I'm really starting to like how the Pirates draft is shaping out. I swear. Good 2-way guy from the Citadel. Would have been a good candidate for the John Olerud Award if Evan Dempsey didn't exist. He played a little bit both ways, even in the postseason for the Citadel. Twitchy guy. I think I like his ability. I assume he's gonna pitch.
They announced him as an arm. So
did they list him as an arm?
It's pitcher on here. So
you're right. I see that now. Switch hitting batter. There's he could carve a way for himself somewhere for sure. I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. Luke Rising from Northeastern.
Northeast guy.
Once again, we'll point at you guys. You two at the bottom. What we got?
I actually haven't been able to watch Northeastern play. I do know Luke Rising though. I don't know like everything about him. I know he's been at Northeastern. He's been there for a while, and I think he's a starter for them. He's performed well, and Northeastern's a good program, especially up here. They're probably the best or second best program up here, and they play as tough of a schedule as you're able to schedule up here, being this far away from everybody else. So, I respect it. I like Luke Rising. He's been a guy for Northeastern.
This is actually one of the.
They moved him to the pen at the end of the season, and he started getting to the mid upper 90s. He's got a really weird like flying limb delivery, so it's some funky stuff.
No, I was about to say this is actually one of the few. This is one of the few Northeastern guys I actually know stuff about. I know in the postseason right before the postseason, he started going into the pen like Dodge said. A nice cut ride fastball, big splitter, gets big results on his splitter. I like Luke Rising. This is actually I like that pick for them.
Yeah,
they're in a No, I was just talking about the next pick if you want to go.
Yeah, I was just going to say on Rising, it was 44% whiff so far in the draft league. He's another draft league guy.
Oh,
So
he's there right now.
he is. He was there right now. So fun one.
I was just gonna say we get a NAI powerhouse LSU Shreveport pick here, catcher.
Oh, maybe my
Utility.
Or he was catcher, and they just changed it to utility, so I don't really know what he is. I guess.
Util. Love that. Well, this guy, he can just do everything, can he? I mean, love that.
He's another draft.
I'm really hoping we get a Doc Spider I can just ramble on in the next 23 picks. We haven't gotten a single Fond du Lac guy from last summer. It's a real shame. But one of them went to LSU Shreveport to play this year, so that kind of jogged my memory on that. I just want.
We need Drew up in here. We got Dominic Morrow, Cincinnati. We need Drew for our Big 12 analysis.
I feel like I remember watching Morrow pitch this year. He's the He's the I'm blanking. I know he's a righty. I'm trying to remember if let me go see if I have anything on him somewhere. Give me a sec.
He's a junior. He's a right-handed pitcher.
I do have stuff on him. That's right. He's a high velo guy. Big strike throwing, high like mid 90s velo guy. The metrics aren't great. Like his stuff isn't really huge. Hasn't gotten a ton of swing and miss, but he fills up the strike zone. Big velo. Not a bad pick at this range.
Do you think the A's go 20 for 20 on or 21 for 21 on college guys?
They'll probably at the end just like throw some like prep guy like money in the 20th round.
It's gonna be the guys that it's gonna be the prep guys that end up doing really well when they go to college and they look back and you're gonna hear their area scouts being like, we were trying to push so hard to get him to the big leagues. And I heard so much about that about Chase Fralick when he got taken by the Padres in the 19th. Like we wanted him so bad. Like then why'd you take a prep guy in the 19th round?
Ben Ziegler Namoa to the Braves here, Hawaii guy. So there you go.
Guys,
I don't know what comment jokes though. Oh, I was about to say I don't know what joke Trevor's about to come in here with.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to come and ask the non-draft guy questions here so we can maybe get some stuff answered. I know we probably have comments we can get to, but we just saw Kalar come off the board the last round, right? Do you think anybody has any money left to take another huge swing like that?
I wouldn't know who specifically, but I'm sure the money's out there.
The thought that was just rolling through my head actually was I have to look back at their full draft to see if this is accurate or not. But the fact that the A's have only taken college guys makes me think they might. But if you look early in their draft, maybe not because they were still taking guys that fell down.
Fun one here, Tate McKee to the Rays.
Yeah, Tate McKee. Yeah. Not big stuff, but a big strike thrower, a deep arsenal too. So it's definitely a good little get here.
What is this A's strategy? I mean, how does that? They're taking all college guys, right? What this is reminiscent of when the Angels took all pitchers for an entire draft. Like, what is the strategy behind this?
In my mind, it's as crazy as this is like a simple-minded take, but the first place my mind goes to is that they're ready to compete now and they need guys to work their way through the minors really quickly, and they're just trying to take a bunch of shots there. That's where my head goes immediately.
I think it's for Vegas.
Yeah, well, it's also probably rooted in a model. I mean, they've taken college guys last couple of years in the first round. It's been home runs for them, so they probably have something in there that prioritizes college performance, and that's all of these guys.
Yeah. We also talked about a little bit like Oakland, or not Oakland anymore, but the A's. They have not taken a prepster that is outside of California since like 2017 in the first round or high. That was Austin Beck, and he kind of fizzled out. So for them, it's either locally grown kids or they're out, and I don't think there's really any local grown high school talent that was like
Horn, maybe they don't have the money for that.
Horn was the only one that would have been like in the top at 8 probably. There I don't think they had anybody really that they would have been interested in from California, so it's kind of
where's Drew
and Marco? They could have gone Nick Bowen or Blake Bowen. Oh, Nick Bowen.
The Cardinals get two of the loudest fastballs especially out of the West Coast. So let's go.
100 miles an hour, the super long levers from Nick Bond. I wish Drew was here. We can get a FaceTime for Drew. Nick Bond taken.
Zach Peters to Miami.
Oh yeah, this is a fun one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an old one. High vert guy. The approach isn't very crazy, but it was usually a mid-90s fastball, but regularly 18-20 vert from a really high slot. So it was very interesting. And the slider draws some whiff too. So fun one.
You know, they're not yet, but one team that I think I just want to know what you guys think of their draft because I feel like it's very risky but interesting. The Rangers took both Gio Rojas and Brody Bumila in the early parts. Do you guys like this draft? I feel like this is just a team that's not coming up. Does that mean it's like a middling draft, do you think?
It's interesting. I mean, they're taking shots early on, and they're spending all their money early on. You can tell based on the way they've drafted late. Hudson Calhoun in the 4th, Michael Anderson in the 5th, Caden Aoki. These are all guys that are not going to command a lot of money compared to slot, I would imagine. A lot of that slot money is going to go to Brody Bumila, which is fascinating considering they did also take Gio Rojas in the 1st. One of those guys is bound to pan out, and I think that Connor Como could as well. A lot of people are higher on him than I am. It's an interesting strategy. You don't typically see a lot of prep guys, like their first 3 picks being prep guys that were mocked in the first couple rounds, commanding a lot of money, and then just not spending at all the rest of the draft. You don't see that a ton. It's an interesting strategy. I don't know if I like it or not, but it's different.
I like part of it too. I really like it depends on your opinion on some of these guys, but I think you get talent, and if you like them and you're on the higher spectrum like Rojas and Bumila, like it's a great upside, great risk there. And then Camo, you're not cheating out on that either. I know Quinn's on that with me, so I mean you love that pick. And then Calhoun is a fun clay guy, and if you get him for cheap, I mean it could end up being a nice starter. It's similar to like where they did with Pence. It's a guy that was in the bullpen and you just force him to start, and you bet on the big stuff. So I don't mind that. Caden Aoki, high pitchability too. Like I don't hate that. So yeah, I think it's fun.
This is an interesting pick from the Diamondbacks. Mason Steele, I did not think he would go. It's just fastball, slider, mostly. Not huge strike throwing, not big swing and miss. Stuff is like not great either. Like I'm kind of shocked this pick. He got taken in the first 10 rounds, but credit to him. Big extension. That's a positive for him.
Another interesting Rangers pick right after we were just talking about them and some of the picks they've been making. I don't know what level Grand Valley State is, but obviously that's going to be another cheap one because they're trying to afford the guys at the top.
We also get Ian Korn, who we had in
Omaha
the
guy.
College World Series, so he was one of the top relievers. So I'll let Josh get into that. You wrote him up.
Yeah, he was. I get him and what's his name confused in my head. Ian Korn was the reliever that came in a couple times, right? The low slot guy.
He was the guy that came in against Troy and went like 6 in the first.
Yeah,
game.
after Cole came out, he went
right. Yeah, he's a sinker slider guy, the sinker baller. Yeah, it's like mid-90s velo. Lots of big whiff on the slider. It's kind of like almost like a sweeper-ish shape. Mixes a cutter in there too. Curveball with a fascinating shape. It's mostly just sinker slider though. Has 2 different fastball shapes though, which is a fascinating thing from his slot. Very much could be a good reliever at the next level. He's a big strike thrower though. Fills up the zone. That's his number one thing.
Grant Fontenot here to the
Rose just took Grant Fontenot. Who do you guys think is like the most divisive pick in this draft? Like Royals are making me think of that because looking at Twitter, I think Zion Rose is a candidate for that, where people are going to love the pick or they're going to hate the pick. I think he falls in that category. Who else do you think is there?
Schaffner. It's in the first round. It's got to be Schaffner's one. Carson Wiggins is another one. I think more people hate the Carson Wiggins pick than like the Carson Wiggins pick. So maybe it's not divisive, but that one's definitely one up.
I was gonna say just in general, just the opinion on the player, probably Justin LeBron. I mean, a lot of people love Justin LeBron. A lot of people don't love Justin LeBron. So I mean, depending on who you talk to, you probably you would get a lot of opinions from the Reds.
I think I'm biased, but Carter Beck for the Braves, I think it's a very much of a data-driven, model-driven pick that I like. But like I've mentioned like 50 times on here by this point, a lot of the Braves strategy seems to be just that was like a money saver, but they think the models view Carter Beck as a guy that could still give them some output. I'm fine with it, but I think that could be a divisive pick in the first round, especially above a lot of the guys who are still on the board.
I'll mention another Northeast guy that just went, Nate Eisler from Dartmouth, big body starter for them. I think he started or relieved. He's pitched a lot the last couple of years for them, up to like 96, couple breaking balls. He's got a slider, mid to low 80s. Another like an upper 70s curveball's a little bit light, but the changeup's pretty solid. He's obviously a pro ready body, so we'll see what he turns into. But the Mets do a lot of work up here, so I'm not shocked that they grabbed him.
Grant Fontenot to Kansas City. He's like a 24-year-old that touches 100.
Yeah.
I can touch 100. You just write on a piece of paper and put your hand right on it.
I think we all can.
Tazewell Butler to the Astros out of Kansas State.
No. Yeah, I got nothing there.
Yeah, we're getting to the names where we're gonna have nothing. It's gonna be the good old.
Interesting body build of 5'11", 210.
So I'm thinking that pick kind of just reminded me a name that we haven't mentioned yet in terms of college guys that haven't gone yet. AJ Avasco, he's an Arkansas transfer though, so he's committed to Arkansas in the portal. He might actually make it there from Kansas State.
He does now.
Right, yeah, from Kansas State. That's a name that just came to mind.
I guess I'll hit on this too for Tazewell Butler since we laughed about it. He was another draft league guy, so this is our draft league range around now. Got 20 whiffs in a start, 5 innings, no runs, only a hit, 9 Ks. Fastball is 92-93, kind of okay shape with a slider, 83-84, 2500 spin, kind of a depthy slider. So fastball slider guy mostly. So we'll see.
Connor Griffin to the Reds.
I can't imagine the Pirates are going to be okay with the Reds' last pick. They just Connor Griffin.
Okay, but this Connor Griffin also touches 101. He hasn't held that over the whole year, but he started the season touching 101.
Yeah, he was a reliever.
It's like 20 command.
Sorry, I thought you were done. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
he was a reliever, first year starting for him. He's electric when he first starts games, and then the velo does kind of fade a little bit. Decent slider. I mean, he's kind of all over the place, like you mentioned, with as far as command. But another guy that he got to pitch in a regional, got to pitch on the big stage. So maybe he got some eyes on him there.
I was about
Also,
to say I think he's the guy
another
in West Virginia. Or go ahead.
Another transfer portal guy that probably is going to stay on campus now. Jake McCoy hasn't been picked yet, probably making it to Tennessee at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another guy we haven't mentioned, Dalton Wentz, probably goes back to school.
Yeah, he
What was
was.
that name? I forgot about him.
Yeah, Dalton Wentz is another good one.
Clayton Freshcorn still hasn't gone yet. Pretty interesting.
Ryan Bilka was just drafted by the Guardians.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't hate Ryan Bilka. It's a really good splitter. Gets lots of swing and miss. Fastball like mid-90s fastball, not the biggest shape on it. He mixes in a slider too, but it's a lot of just a fastball splitter type of guy. Little older if I remember correctly, maybe not. I think he's like 23. So
yeah, I think it was a Richmond. I think it was a Richmond commit or a Richmond transfer last year. I think
he was.
Trevor, can you look at the MLB draft and tell me the height of the next guy that just got drafted?
Caleb Lefevre.
Yeah.
He would be over 6 foot, slightly under 7 foot, 6'7", I think is.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Where he lands.
Iowa commit. He has massive movement profiles. It's like all over on the movement graph. That's back-to-back Boston picks. I guess they have now found money in the couch and are dishing it out everywhere.
It makes sense now. The draft strategy is
yeah, this is where the money's going.
Yeah.
We're looking at each other in the draft room going, we should probably spend some of this money.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the fastball also is cut and right, so it's pretty interesting pitch.
Augie Lopez here to San Diego. That's a USC guy. He I'm pretty sure
he's a portal
USC
guy, right?
DH.
Yeah.
He was their DH down the stretch. He didn't catch really ever. Cardenas did that. But yeah, Padres take him here.
Did he
Interesting
commit
background.
anywhere in the portal? Or was it
I don't think so.
Adrian?
I don't think he did. The Cardenas committed to Clemson. Isaac Cardenas. But
Yeah.
Let me see. No, neither of either Adrian or Augie Lopez, neither of them are committed yet. So you're gonna imagine Augie's just gonna go pro.
yeah.
I think
So
Augie-
Let's
Austin,
not go double prep here. Do you think that's the team that's helped themselves the most today on day 2?
Probably.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, I talked about how Boston made the jump from 26th to 14th. Now they're up to 12th. So they're now a plus 15 team.
Is there any other team that you think has helped themselves quite a bit today?
I think Washington helped themselves. So I don't really agree with this when I kind of divorce myself from the model. The model kind of likes Daniel Cuvée. I'm not a massive fan. Cincinnati snagged a couple of good prep picks.
I got one.
Go
I
ahead.
think one of the 2 worst drafts in my opinion yesterday was the Royals. I think they've helped themselves a ton today. I like Fontenot as a money saver. Getting Camden Johnson, Dylan Viggy this late, Justin LeGuernick. I like Ethan McIlvain a ton as possibly a long-term reliever. Hunter Postle, I know that Jake said he liked him. I've seen some helium on him recently. I think the Royals have really done well for themselves after a controversial day yesterday. Some like it, some don't. A lot don't. But controversial at the very least. I think they've helped themselves a ton.
Still
What's
no
Samuel's
Ryan Zuckerman.
Guardians? Is that a progression for them?
It's an interesting day. Savion Sims, if they can get him away from Oklahoma, for sure. There's a lot of upside there. Lucas Moore's a very safe profile. Deaton LeChance snagging him that late is big. Matt Scott could be a really good reliever if they groom him the right way. Last couple picks are just going to be money savers. I don't think it's a bad day for Cleveland. Maybe not one of the best, but they've had a couple guys fall into their lap that I like a lot.
Still no Blake Morningstar. Still no Eric Paulson. No Ethan Serwick.
Serwick pulled his
back to
name.
school.
Serwick pulled his name from the draft. Morningstar, yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't see that. Oh, Barham Hot to the Yankees. I really like that senior sign. He's a strong defender. It looks like they announced him as shortstop. He played third base for Louisville, but he has really quick hands in the field, I think. Maybe not the best athlete. Probably doesn't hang out shortstop, but I like him as a third baseman.
I think he got some run late last year too, or in the middle of the year last year. I think he got some run for Louisville. So, yeah.
I swear I'm not going to
Detroit Luke Allwood to the Cubs in between that just to catch up.
I swear I'm not going to do the thing where it's just naming guys, but other college guys that we haven't talked about yet that haven't gone yet. Another Tennessee portal commit, Ricky Ojeda. He hasn't gone yet. I already mentioned Lorenzo Carrier, Javar Williams. That kind of shocks me.
Reese Maroney right now to the Phillies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hayden LaFew hasn't gone yet. Calvin Prosky. Those are probably the big ones. I don't think I've missed.
Another Santa Barbara guy, Nathan Aceves, still hasn't gone yet.
Yes.
There's also two mid-major transfer second base shortstops that I'm watching. Kyle McDaniel is going from Utah Tech to Florida. He hasn't gone yet. And Ben Cleary is going from Santa Clara to Arkansas. Ben Cleary is one of the better defenders I've seen in person and makes incredible contact. And speaking of incredible contact, McDaniel has maybe the best contact percentage in the nation. Another
mid-major to SEC transfer guy, Michael Malky from Cal Baptist going to Arkansas, hasn't been taken. The Northridge guy, Matthew
hasn't Cody New from Cal Baptist. So
I've kind of lost
the other guy.
I liked Cody New for a while. I've kind of backtrack on that a little bit. I'm not really shocked he hasn't been taken yet. Jaden Bastion.
He only threw 2 innings, then he got hurt.
KJ Scobie going to Texas Tech. He hasn't been taken yet. Just some more names. Griffin Stieg, Virginia Tech.
Eric June just right now got picked by Seattle from Stanford. Really, really interesting bat. He makes a lot of contact. He hits with a good amount of barrel rate. I will say one of the worst defenders I've seen in person. Probably a DH, but pretty fun bat.
Yeah, it's good bat to ball stuff. He has the typical Japanese stance that you see a lot of them with the Deaton LeChance, Jimmy Janicki type of hands. He's got some solid power numbers in there. He gets to occasionally 90th EV is pretty good.
Oh, Jake St. Joseph's, Andrew Gaines.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's I think he was their closer this year for the better part of the season. Big body guy. Really, I mean it's a mid 90s fastball, can get up to the uppers. Pretty good breaking ball too. I think he's had some command issues here and there, but taking a risk on the big stuff from St. Joe's, I don't mind it.
Yeah, there's two names I guess.
It's a big moving fastball. He extends really far down the mound, and the curveball gets a ton of sweep. So going to the Brewers is a pretty interesting pick.
Two more names that I know it's biased to bring up, but they're two Carolina draft risk guys. We had Cole Fenton, the shortstop from Walter State. He had a lot of helium going into the draft, and it looks like he's kind of slipping out of there, so he might end up on campus. And also Rhett Britt, the high school righty, was another one that had some helium in here with signability. So we'll see if he makes it through.
Bryce Chance to the Blue Jays, and then the Dodgers are up with the last pick.
Bryce Chance, slashing older guy, 5th-year guy from Mississippi State. I'm shocked he went here too, but he won't command much money at all.
I think this is all the Woolbrick. The Woolbrick, we need to draft as cheap as possible, and we're giving Woolbrick $1.5–2 million. There's the last
Devin Bell. Oregon Ducks. That is 2 Oregon picks to the Dodgers. Devin Bell has a pretty hard fastball. Is mixed between like a cutter and slider. He was the Oregon closer technically. They kind of bounced him around with Tanner Bradley and Toby Twist. Fortunately, did below the season, but it was a pretty dynamic arm. Transferred in from, I believe it was a D2 school. I think he might be like 23, but pretty nice senior arm for the Dodgers. Throws pretty hard.
Okay, so I need you guys to help me out. We're getting ready to rank these guys. We're going to include the draftees, even if they haven't quite signed yet. We'll do the caveat if they have not signed yet. But who on day 2 here? A lot of names got taken. Who should I pay attention to? Who should I look into ranking pretty well or pretty aggressively in their system? I guess that's just asking who are your favorite picks, but I just want to hear some names.
Well, I want to take the floor because I feel like a broken record, but Martin Sheelar in the 9th round, he was 11th on my board. I think he's going to slot in. My opinion, he should slot in pretty high in the Red Sox system. It is one of the best prep bats I think in this class. He's made contact in and out of the zone. He has a very uphill stroke, but yet he has adjustability with it because of his elite hand speed. Showed plus power at the combine. I can't rave enough about this guy.
Before I answer this, I have to ask your opinion, Trevor. I don't know much about what the Phillies farm system, what the depth of it is. Is there a lot of depth in the Phillies farm system at all?
No, not particularly.
Okay, so I think Will Gasparino would probably make a top 30. No matter what your feelings are of him in general, I think or whether you like him or not, I think objectively he's probably a top 30 prospect in that org. If that's the case, maybe Bo Rudy too. Those are just a couple of guys that catch my eye. Just going through here, Savion Sims, if he makes it, if he goes pro, that could be one for Cleveland possibly.
Yeah.
I think those are the big ones for me, unless y'all got something that I missed.
I mean, I like the Weingartner pick. I think the White Sox, I feel like they have a pretty deep system, but and they've made a lot of good picks in this draft, so I don't know how you guys would necessarily like rank him among these guys that they've already taken, but Weingartner is really the one that stood out to me today.
Yeah.
And just to confirm, there is going to be a 1 hour halftime between this round and round 11.
Yes. What about Jackson Willis? That was a name I kind of like coming into the draft. It seems like he's just all around type, but that could be floor, and floor helps when you're ranking.
Yeah, it depends on what you think of the Angels farm system, but I think Jackson Willits could slide his way into the back end there. It's a high floor. He's a good athlete, good defender. I think there's a real I can very much see the argument for that.
Willits, and I like Robert O'Meady in the Tiger system at the back end of the 30. I really like that one. He's a fun one from Canada. So, and Sherman Johnson for the Reds too is another one. I really like Sherman Johnson, so I think he's another fun back of the 30 name.
All right.
Well, I think that's probably going to do it for us. After 10.5 hours of streaming over the course of 2 days, we have made it through 10 rounds of the draft. The draft will continue at 3:40 p.m. Eastern time. We have a hour-long break. This was fun. This was a lot, but this was fun. I enjoyed it. You don't get this content many places. There's a couple of other outlets out there that are doing streams today this long, but it's not a very common thing. This is good stuff. Shout out Will Dodge, shout out JB, shout out Quinn, JB. Jake. I don't know why I said JB twice. Someone on this team.
Shout out you, JB. Great job, man.
Yeah, thanks.
Of
I appreciate
the 313 picks that were made, I think we had something on all but like 10 of them, maybe. Good stuff by the team. Great draft cycle. This was fun. I don't know if anybody has anything else, but that's probably going to do it for us.
New cycle starts tomorrow for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, 2027 cycle starts tomorrow.
I'm excited.
Days off.
We already got next week. I got 18 U's at USA, so we're already back to work. I already watched the college nationals, so
I'm hoping to find my way down to area codes in a couple weeks, and there'll be around like 200 prep guys there.
The boys never stop, Trevor.
Never. We've been prepping for the past 12 months for today and yesterday, and it was well worth it. It was fun. Lots of guys will have fun tracking in the future, as will you, Trevor. This was exciting. So
Now it's your problem.
Yeah, now it's your
We'll hand over the torch.
Yeah, well, that's going to do it for us. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We had about 8,000 people after the fact on YouTube yesterday, a ton more today, over 1,000 both days on Twitter. Good stuff. I appreciate everyone tuning in. I know these guys do too. So for all of us, peace out. Thanks for joining us. This was fun. Until next year.